There we go. All right, so this is session 3 of Die here at GauntletCon. It's Sunday. There have been so many games. I've been on this particular couch for way too many hours, but I'm excited. Had just enough time between games to scribble down some notes, so I have a nice big long column of detailed plans for you to smash and set on fire. I am excited to see how that happens. This is a Gauntlet game. These are Gauntlet players. We're wonderful. They're all beautiful, amazing role-playing masters. And if this is your first time seeing the series, you should probably click back to number 1 and you'll understand more of that. I was a terrible, horrible, shameful GM last time, and I did not reiterate our safety tools. But we do have the X card in play, and we have our Lines and Bales tab on the Character Keeper. And of course, open door if at any time for any reason, emotional, logistical, or real life, or whatever, that you need to get up and walk away from the table, that is fine. We've, again, talked to death our concept, our tone, our subject matter, but I want to go over the aim for today's session. It's sort of in the form of, this is Barrett's campaign plan of like how the adventure goes forward, and it's sort of my plans that I'm laying out there too. And I want to tell you about them, A, so that we can aim towards hitting the beats that we need to, but also that you know, if at any time you want to subvert the adventure, skip to point wherever, because I don't think Barrett's adventure is going to be that hard for your characters to figure out, you'll know where good points to skip to, or how you want to fuck with things. And I am infinitely open to these plans being fucked with. So we're going to open in that chamber underneath the tower in Shadowport. We're going to deal for a couple of minutes with the fallout there of Golden, the arcane trickster, being just brutally head smash murdered after being both healed and surrendering. Then we'll go up above ground. You'll see some of the effect of cleansing this town of the Black Flame. So we're going to get around of like paint the scene, because I spent a lot of time last time explaining how ucky and awful it was. So as it is healed and returned to its ideal form, we'll hear from you what that is and how this place has changed for your influence. You'll then, you can see the sort of other 3 landmarks that you laid out last time. The giant tower tree with the rook's nest, or rock's nest at the top. The mountaintop temple with the eternal flame and the chapel to the red god, and finally the crystal fortress ruled by the queen. And they're like geographically laid out like that. You can sort of see them coming. To give some more context, the first one, the giant tower tree with the rocks, is going to be inhabited by Daniel's former wizard. The mountaintop temple is going to be inhabited by Dane's former cleric, and the crystal fortress is going to have Javier's former ranger. And so, you know, there's Barrett's idea of perfect symmetry and hitting all of the different notes that we need to. Like I said, feel free to tumble those plans down in any way you want. So, the last thing I'm going to remind you of is that we've hit on several of them so far, but I just want to make it explicit that each of the character classes basically has a "get me out of this situation" button. They look like get out of jail free cards. They're not usually that. They're usually just change the situation. But for our fool, we have the Fool's die that he can give away, his amazing die, which we saw last session, how fucking good that die is. He can give it away for basically an out of the frying pan sort of moment. Totally change the situation, get you out of where you are, but not necessarily put you somewhere better. And then he's powered down and without that ability until either he brings some disaster onto your heads or I do for him. We have our Godbinder, who can at any time stop time and deal with the gods, the 3 that he knows well, or even try to invoke the other gods. And if he's willing to pay the price and do the deeds for them later, there's basically nothing they can't do in a way that you wish they hadn't. The Neo, we've played with a lot of his systems and his hacking, but I do want to point out the overcharge. You used a little bit last time, but there's not really a limit to that. You can, the tech field, the fair field runs through all of DIE. There's lots of things here you could overcharge. There's other people's toys or powers that you could overcharge. There's all sorts of things you could do with that. And finally, our emotion night, we saw a lot of creative violence last time. But yeah, if you're willing or able to get yourself scared enough, there are strange and amazing things you can do. So, all of that babble and preamble out of the way, I think we're going to open our scene down in the dungeon beneath Shadowport. To remind you, we found these landmarks. We had an overland travel facing some of the minor NPCs and situations from before, but it was Shadowport. Run down, disease and crime infested Shadowport that was being run by the Black Flame, or secretly Golden, Magnus's old arcane trickster character, who had taken over the crime organizations for himself and was controlling the whole place with this army of Black Flame servants. You busted into his throne room, variously managed to thwart his monologue and taking down you evil kids sort of abilities. You managed to subdue all of his power. Astrid came over, used her abilities to heal him in this town of the Black Flame, and then him there peacefully, happy, so grateful that you had relieved him. Blockhead Dane came forward and brutally murdered him with his warhammer without much explanation. And go.
Dane, what the fuck? You killed my character.
Dude, that was hardcore.
It was the will of the gods.
There you go, will of the gods.
Will.
What the hell? He wasn't doing. I fixed him.
I know, but this was what the red lady demanded. So
He could have told us so much information.
Man, this is bullshit though. Like Barrett nerfed my character. My character, there's no way that Golden should have ever died like that. Like Barrett totally nerfed him. There's no like he would have wiped the floor with your character, back in the day. This is bullshit. Like first they nerfed my character in that other game. Now Golden gets nerfed. Like
It's not your character, dude.
what used to be.
Yeah, but it's not anymore. It's a different game.
Well, yeah, now it's not. He's dead. It's nobody's character.
Yeah, you're right about that. Oh, man. Holy crap.
Well, I can't wait to see how shitty Barrett made your character.
Oh, I'm probably a complete loser. I can't wait to put an arrow through my eye. Whatever. Through, through Thorn's eye.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet Dane's old cleric.
Dane's expression is unreadable behind his mask.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a lot of difference.
I did not want to kill him, but it was the only way, so I did it.
Yeah, will of the gods.
Yeah, will of the gods.
Why are you... I don't get why you're so pissed about this.
Man, I spent hours making that character. Like, I spent so much time making my character, and then you guys just roll up, with, oh, yeah, I don't know, I'll play Ranger. That's cool. Like...
Playing a Ranger is cool.
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, you did shoot a lot of arrows. But still, like, I had to look up all these rules, like...
Yeah. Look.
I mean, it's fine. It's cool.
All right. So, there's got to be something around here that is a clue that's going to lead us to the next thing we got to do, right?
Yeah, it was probably something he was supposed to tell us.
No. Like, it's not... It's like... Mr. Sindle's not going to dead end us like that. No, let me just. I'll just look around, and I like start poking around the throne. There's got to be some kind of like shoving it to try and find whatever the secret compartment or something like that. And
There's, the throne is very solid and doesn't really give. It seems to be carved from one giant piece of stone, just to be
Yeah.
extra impressive. But there's the pile of the black flames, like face covering, gimp suit sort of thing, and big robes and everything. And as you sort of tow them aside, just glittering right in the middle is this so it's like an amulet on a chain, and you
sweet.
see a like smoky onyx crystal carved into a flame shape.
Yeah, and I'm about to pick it up, and then I go, oh, whoa, and then I slip one of my throwing daggers out, and I kind of do one of these like CSI style, right? Like I've got it dangling around the dagger, like in case it's cursed or whatever. And I walk over and I walk over to Magnus, and I'm like, dude, you've memorized every item that we can find. What is this?
I mean, it's not like one of the old items. Like Barrett came up with some new material.
Oh, speaking of, let me pause things for a second, because we did talk at the end about the new items that you picked up last time, which I am in general happy with. But thinking back on it, I do want to change one thing, which is that shield wall gun. I think I made it a little bit too tough. So,
I think so, yes.
when you do the roll to put it up, basically the first time a hit gets through it. So the first time there's a 2-point or higher attack that gets through it and does some damage.
Okay.
Your own armor notwithstanding, then the shield wall will go down, and you'll need to take a new action, make a new roll to put it back up.
Okay.
But
yeah,
it will stop an infinite number of like 1 success plinks.
Nice.
Cool. Okay. Sorry. Back into it.
So I mean, I don't know. Like it looks kind of like the Flameheart medallion, but I mean, it's not like a 1-for-1. I mean, it looks like a crude drawing come to life of the Flameheart medallion. I don't know.
And I kind of dangle it in front of Dane.
So Dane's gonna draw on like in character world knowledge, since he's kind of like getting into his character at the moment.
So
can I dredge out of that?
Yeah. Describe to me a little like cantrip prophecy thing that you put together to speak with the voice of the gods.
I guess so when you mean for me to talk to the gods, or for me to channel the voice of the gods?
It's sort of like an item identification spell. You're going to channel the voice of the gods and speak through what, some truths about this thing.
Okay. I think maybe I'm going to do a little like tarot reading for this, essentially.
Nice.
So I have like the kind of in-universe set of tarot cards.
What's the aesthetic of like Mr. N's deck?
Let's say it's kind of like a old timey pre-Rider Waite, like kind of like Renaissance style tarot deck.
Nice.
I like shuffle the deck and like flick the cards out, and then like most of them scatter, but like 3 or 4 of them like land right next to it. Provide the key information for us.
Yeah. I think that's a good twist on your forewarned minor miracle. So go ahead and roll me wisdom. You just need 1 success.
Let's do that. Three successes.
Oh my. Yes. So you lay out the spread. You're praying, sort of ritualizing this to Mr. End, and you look at the spread, it doesn't quite make sense. You're sort of struggling as your vision focuses in and out, as sort of like Dane seeing it for a second, then Blockhead seeing it for a second. You're trying to hold on to that mindset that'll let you into Blockhead's space. And then you feel this gust of wind and hear it behind you, and everything becomes clear. It's not about the symbols or the words or the specifics on the cards, but you see the four colors. You see how they interact with each other, and you remember from a great tome in a like codex that you were reading at one point that talks about the four flames, the sort of like their elemental powers of the world, not in the sense of like earth, fire, water, wind, that sort of thing, but their primal powers of this plane. And there are stories and rumors about the influence and control they exert over their wielders. Black, white, green, and red.
Okay, so this is presumably the black flame, and we will need to find the others. And do I know anything about where those other things might be found?
I'll take this opportunity to move things forward a little bit. You don't get any of that sense, but you have this sort of like tip of your tongue feeling, and you pack up your cards. You lead. Well, you head up the stairs. The others may linger or follow you, but as you come out of the tower, you get this impulse to climb up the ruins of it. And as you do, and you rise above the like rooftops of the village, you see, almost laid out in a perfect line here from the tower, the tree, the mountaintop, and well, I guess you're going to have to presume behind that is going to be the crystal city that you saw.
And then behind that, perhaps wherever the master dwells.
And the closest one, the tree, you do see a light shining from it, because, by the way, it's now suddenly night. That one is white. A white flame shining at the top of the tree. You see the red burning flame at the top of the mountaintop. And yes, I may not have mentioned it before, but maybe your personas didn't notice it in all of the fantasy and chaos last time. But you were making this trip under a blazing sunlit sky, lit by all three of the suns at once. It is now, and you can't have been down there that long. It is now deepest, darkest night, and you see the stars like a geometric grid of pinprick lights above you.
I will go back down, and I will say to the others, fate has shown me our path. 4 flames for 4 powers. One fell here, others yet to fall. They stretched out in a line before us to the north. I saw the white flame burning in the great tree.
Oh, sweet.
Well, I mean, that's better than last time when the fate shows you to be a murder hobo. So I guess that's something.
Yeah. Is it
What do
that
I
tree?
do with this?
What?
The necklace that I've got on the
Yeah.
I'm holding on the knife.
Did I get the information about that, actually?
What's that?
I'm asking Patrick if I got any information about that.
No, not out of your questions, but you are sort of out of your spread there. But I'll say, Magnus, if you were at any point in here actually looking at this thing like through your visor, you start to see pinging and windows start to pop up. You can quickly figure out this thing is connected to the Fairfield.
Yeah, I mean, can we say that maybe it was like something that Golden even had on him, like back when we were playing, and maybe it's just different now?
Yeah.
So I would kind of recognize it.
Yeah, it was like some great quest treasure that you got, but you can see this overlay of the Fairfield technology, warping it and changing it.
Yeah, so I'll say, I mean, yeah, I can go ahead and take it. I mean, it was my character. Like, I should get, it should come to me first. So, I'll just go ahead and take it and
No argument here.
and at least have something to remember my character by.
You reach out and take it.
Yeah.
As soon as you do, there are like flashing windows and alarm bells going off in your visor, like virus alert, like all this shit. I'm gonna need you to make a Fairfield roll if you want to take this thing safely.
Oh yeah. What do I roll for that?
Let's too many tabs.
Oh, it's intelligence.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good. My intelligence is a 4. So that is 1 success.
All right. Yeah, you bypass the problem, but you let's say it feels more like you suppress it. What was your 1 success?
It was a 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you get the sense of like this patch is gonna wear off at some point.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just take it and keep hold of it. And I think also while we're all just sitting around, Magnus is still kind of ticked off, obviously, about his character dying. I'm just gonna go ahead and slap a fair gold in my belly and just power up my blade, just to feel the power of it, take the edge off.
Are y'all coming up out of the tower?
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
when we emerge and it's nighttime, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is Shadowport. Remember how like it was most of the time it was nighttime when we were in Shadowport? Because I mean, Shadowport, right? Oh yeah, and like I'm smiling as like here we go, walking down the street.
Tempest, as you come up out of the tower, you come out under the starlight for the first time. That fair gold that you're sort of pulling out some and putting one in. You see the rest of it in your hand as soon as the starlight hits it. It dims and starts to sort of pulse, and you see a red countdown timer show up in the bottom of like corner of your visor that's saying like reset time, 6 hours.
Okay. So yeah, guys, we have like 6 hours ish before my gold is gonna disappear, I think. So we should get going. And I guess I have to use this stuff.
Why don't you just, I mean, like if you just shove it in there, doesn't it build up?
I mean, yeah, but it doesn't, like the powers don't last.
So just take it all now, but then you'll be charged up.
No, wait till the 6 hours are almost up, and then take it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't understand how time seems to be working here. I mean, I don't even know how long has passed. Like, earlier, I mean, Javier was talking like we'd be in here for like 4 hours. I think it's been longer than 4 hours now.
No, I mean, this was like this was, I mean, we've had basically, like, we had a couple random encounters and like a single adventure. It was like a session.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're still here.
We're probably getting towards the end of it, but maybe this was like, you remember those couple of times we managed to play all day? This is like that.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it feels like it's been all day.
Just watch
here in game.
Like you said, there's a counter on it.
Yeah.
Just watch the counter.
Well, I'm just saying we should get going to where we're gonna get going to before it counts all the way down.
It's getting late. Why don't we have dinner and go to bed?
And let some people say thank you to us?
Yeah, we should go see Popeye and see what's like
yes,
whatever we did.
Yes. He will totally. He'll hopefully.
I mean, he might be mad at us, but I do want to see what's changed.
So yeah.
What's he gonna do?
as y'all make your way through the streets of the city towards Popeye's Inn, we're going to go around and do a paint the scene about what the idealized form of Shadow Port really should be. As the corruption has left it, the corruption has left Popeye, and everything is back to the sort of idyllic fantasy world it should be. So we'll start. We'll go down here from what I see. So Bethany, why don't you start us off?
I mean, it was an idyllic fantasy world, but it was like our idyllic fantasy world. So, we didn't really get to see much of it in between the time, like the end of the crime lord's reign and like the end of the campaign. But maybe for just like a brief, like one visit to Shadowport after the crime lords were gone, there was suddenly like there were always people out like just roaming around. Like people weren't afraid to leave like whatever, like the shelter of a building. So as we walked through there, there's just a lot more people out, and they're just like walking along and talking. You know, some of them are like sitting on porches and, you know, holding lanterns, and they seem like they're fine. They're not worried. They're like speaking freely.
Nice. Robert, as you're going through this sort of like social summer evening, everybody's outside and chatting sort of feel, what do you see that's changed?
Yeah, I think probably like there's lights on inside the houses. Like you can kind of, you know, there's the smell of like decent food kind of wafting through the streets. And I think on like some corner there's just a group of people just like sitting around. Like they're very obviously they just left a bar or something, and so they're all kind of just drunk, stumbling through the street, like, you know, just having like just having a good night. Like they're not afraid. They are very, very openly talking, you know, talking loud, and no one seems to be bothering them, and they're just stumbling along down the street.
Nice. So as the sort of like off-key strains of a bar song start up in the distance behind you, what do you see, Sam?
I think we passed through like a night market full of like lanterns and the people selling delicious like food on the street, and the smells of the things you can't have in prison, pot and cigarettes, and yeah, just people like playing dice and dancing, just generally like just having a good time.
Yeah, and as any of you that want to, as you come out of this crowd, you're holding a cigarette that someone handed to you and puffing on it, or just enjoying the sort of jollity of the people around you. What do you see, Jim?
And kind of we come through that night market, and I go, oh, sweet, Horde Alley, let's cut through there. And we kind of hang a left, and it's this like narrow street where the buildings kind of are. It's that thing where the buildings they built up, you know, the stories above have kind of pushed out over the street. So it's almost like you're walking down a tunnel. And there are, it's like just a warren of shops, right, with like shop windows. If any of you have ever been to Charing Cross in London, the way that like there's like it's a neighborhood that's basically dozens of bookstores. And so you'll turn down an alley, like literally like an alley that like is wide enough maybe for two people to walk abreast in, and there'll be like 8 bookstores like crammed in there, like tiny little bookstores, and you know, and all this kind of stuff and everything. And it's that kind of thing, except that like this shop sells potions and this one sells scrolls, and this one is, you know, the like all the herbs that you might need if you're a healer. It's basically like adventuring gear. You know, it's like it's whatever, like the equipment section and magic item section of the book laid out in a series of shops down this narrow little alley. that you walk down. And I'm like looking in the windows as we're going by. Yeah, and like they're closed now because we can't actually buy anything, but like we can see like, like whatever, like a shiny glowing sword in a window of the place that sells weapons, and
Yeah.
like a fancy, I've got like a fancy black lacquer hand crossbow, and in another window and stuff like that.
Yeah, the different shops only open up after like different sorts of quests.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you make it to Popeye's Inn. You see it. It's like a cozy 2-level sort of inn now, where it had been like looming over everything around it before, and instead of that like glossy, expensive sort of lacquered look to it, it just sort of it glows gently in the street lamp of like wood that's been oiled and loved over decades and decades. You see a sort of cheery, clean light coming out of it, but everything is much more like bucolic and sort of less ostentatious than it was before.
Looks like
Pops.
a place. Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Bethany, please.
I was just gonna say, it looks like a place where you're not afraid to touch things.
Mm.
Where before it was so shiny,
Yeah.
you walk around with your hands in your pockets so you don't touch anything.
And it's just one of these, Pops, we told you we'd fix things.
Greetings, fair strangers. Adventurers from the road? Welcome to Pops's Inn. He's cheery and chipper, and
Yeah.
there's a couple of barmaids sort of happily wandering around the room. You hear a couple of young cooks in the back. He'll bring you ale. He'll get stories of the adventures on the road from you. It's awesome, and he'll answer any sort of like adventure prompt questions you want to ask him.
I don't know that I have any adventure prompt questions, but we don't have much money, but we would like rooms.
The adventurers eat for free in this inn.
Good deal.
Oh, you're muted, Bethany.
Oh, I was just thinking, yeah, I do have a question for him. Yeah. What have you heard about the route between here and the giant tree tower?
Oh,
Any news?
the roads are safe enough, but, well, I mean, the area around the tower, it's not as it once was. There are rumors coming out of there recently. That the tower, the birds and the life, the beauty in the area, it used to attract artists from all corners of the plain. They would come in, they would be inspired by the view there. But recently, everything's become so cold, so emotionless, so colorless, and, well, I shouldn't be speaking rumors out of turn, but there are rumors coming down the road. People have been kidnapped and taken. Artists, musicians, sculptors, the like. But that's just dirty rumors from the road. I'm sure none of it's true.
No, of course not. I'm sure it's fine. Artists and just these people, not the.
Well, as I say, I don't know myself. I have to stay here and tend the inn, but they're the only ones I've heard speak of being taken, and it's been forever since a bard has come down the road from that direction.
Huh. Yeah, that sounds bad. I guess. Well, we're on our way there next. We'll see if there's any truth to that.
All right. Anything else that people want to have a scene here at the inn or with Popeye or each other?
I want to have a scene after after we go to bed, essentially.
Okay. So yeah, he'll show you rooms for the night. We'll say they're doubles, and then there's one like. Oh no, there's 4 of you. I'm just looking at 5 screens. I can't count, and my brain is weird. But yeah, you pair up in doubles.
All right. Who is with me?
I'm guessing not Magnus.
No, I think that would be funny, actually. You know, the stick Magnus and Dane.
Nice.
And maybe even like back in the old prison days, we were oftentimes stuck together because, you know, both like similar types of crime, like we're both extremely low risk, so they would always just put us in the same area. So it's just like old days.
Yeah. So you are like woken up in the night by me screaming.
Dane, what? Wake up! What are you doing?
Although there's no facial expression, of course. So Dane is like taking off his armor, but he can't take off the dye. So he's got like this huge, jacked, like Rob Liefeld body, and then like some boxers essentially, and then his like dye on his head. I'm sorry. I was just back there again, killing Golden. I
You don't gotta rub it in.
I know he's just an NPC, but just the gore, man. It was just something else. It felt like I was killing a person.
I mean, yeah, it was kind of messed up. Like, you know, like you guys keep asking me, like, you know, why I care so much. It's not my character anymore, but like, it's my memories, you know?
But it's just like I don't know. I am. I don't know. I was just like in character, and it didn't matter at the time. Now it's just, I can't stop thinking about it.
Well,
Sure, go ahead.
Well, I mean, we don't really know like what kind of technology is running this whole game anyway. Like, they probably have stuff like hooked into your, you know, hooked into your receptors, you know, like making you think these things.
But you think that we're like in like tied to chairs somewhere with like needles in our heads?
I mean, I don't have any other explanation. Like,
how long have we been here? Like, how long are we gonna be here?
I mean, it's kind of messed up if you like. I don't even want to think about that. Like, it's prisons all the way down. Like, we left one prison to come back, and now we're. I mean, is this like just like being in prison? Are we just stuck here?
You think he's just like fucking like drugged us and locked us up? He's like I start hyperventilating. Like I need to.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it.
I need to get this off. I feel like I can't breathe, and I start like pulling at the D20. Like, help me.
Well, I mean, are you sure it's not gonna like hurt? Yeah, I would try like helping you pull it off.
We like try it, but yeah, it like fucking hurts. And I don't. It's not possible. We can like make a big nuisance, maybe some clattering noise. We've got to get out of here.
I mean, yeah, like here we are sleeping in the like we should be on the road, but look, yeah, we just gotta get through this, you know, play his stupid quest, and he's got to let us out. Like they can't just leave us here, right?
But like if we're here for like a week or something, I'm gonna lose my job. I could lose my partial custody.
I mean, yeah, like I kind of have a life too. Like, yeah, we need to. Like I said, I don't know how time works. Like, maybe we've only been here for like a minute, but it just feels like this long. You know, like you're seeing your life flash before your eyes. Like, I don't know.
I feel fucking tired. That's why I didn't want to like walk all night. I don't feel like a video game character. I feel like I don't know.
I mean, I felt pretty good. I mean, that weird thing I do with the gold in my stomach, like, I don't know. I could go for days.
Yeah. That's good.
Well, look, okay, when we meet your character, like, if like I'm gonna go full force on him, okay? Like, no offense, right?
We should offer him a fucking deal. We should say, this guy, this game master set you up. Why not join us and get some revenge?
Well, where was the deal for Golden?
I don't know what to tell you. It was like I was Blockhead. It was kind of scary, I guess.
Well, okay, well, if you're so tired, like, we should probably try to get some sleep.
Fine. Yeah, we'll figure this out in the morning or something.
I mean, I know that pillow can't be too comfortable with a giant, weird helmet, but at least try to get some sleep.
So as you try and figure out the geometry of sleep, Bethany said you wanted to have a scene.
Yeah, because I just realized something. So I think they, Javier and I are in the other room, and I'm like sit down in the bed, and I just kind of I'm kind of pushing at my sleeves, because which are very, very like singed, and like all of my clothes are singed, and I kind of like Javier, man, seriously, I don't think this is a fucking game. This really hurts. Like it feels like a real burn. It's not just I can see them maybe doing something like a little bit of heat or something to let you know that you've been hurt in the game, or like the little vibrations in a controller, but this fucking hurts.
So go get healed.
That's
Dane should be able to. Dane's a cleric. Why didn't you say something before? Why are you walking around with damage?
Dane is a cleric of gods that tell him to kill people?
Yeah, but that's enemies.
That guy, he was defenseless. He wasn't an enemy right then.
He just tried to kill us. He was all, did you hear him going on?
Yeah, he was possessed. But no, I
No, this is the whole point. This is look. This is Mr. Sindel. This Mr. Sindel getting in your head. You got to be
I'm telling you, man, this is not a game. It might be a simulation, but it's not a game. Games are fun.
How are you not having fun?
I don't know. Possibility of death at any minute?
Okay,
Being trapped here?
I'm just saying that if I look like you did,
Get over it. You have a wife. Why are you so obsessed with how it...
Because we're in a game. It's not, she's like, whatever we do in the game, it's a game. And then when we're done, we go back and everything goes back to normal. And I have to go pick up my daughter at daycare, and I can have 1 beer a week, and I have to live with my mother-in-law. So that's what my life is like when I'm not playing a game, and I haven't had a chance to play this since we all hung out together. Fucking Magnus is like does nothing but play games all day, all the time. All
Yeah.
right? This is my first chance to do this in 8 years.
I mean, it's your first chance to do this ever.
Why don't
No, I get it, but
just go bang on Dane's door and get him to fix you?
you know what? I'll do it tomorrow, because if we sleep tonight, that's a long rest, right? And if I'm
Yeah.
actually fine tomorrow,
Hey,
then we'll know it's a
point.
game.
Excellent point. That's right. Yeah. Did you see how much I drank? And I'm not like I barely have a buzz. That's amazing. Like I said, I'm like,
I mean, they watered it down, obviously, but yeah, still, even then, you're right. You should be a lot drunker.
and mead is good.
It is.
I've never. I mean, I kind of want to try it and see what it. I mean, it can't be that good. I don't know.
You know, I
Anyway.
know some people who make it in real life. Like, apparently, it's something you can just like brew in your basement or something. You should try it.
And I think, as you'll talk about mead, which by the way is terrible,
Yeah.
and the production thereof until you drift off,
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
we sort of fade into the night. And I do want to have one more scene before we leave Shadowpart and move on to the tower, and that is right before dawn, which Magnus, Tempest, you had talked about, plans for your gold and what to do, but do you actually stay up, or do you set an alarm and wake up before dawn?
Yeah, I think I set an alarm. I think I have an alarm on my AI. I think I set Gypsy as an alarm to wake me up.
Nice. So you wake up. We'll say that you sneak out of the room so you don't wake up Dane, and go downstairs and outside the inn to watch for the dawn. And you're used to that, things turning gray and then pink, but it still looks like deepest night. Like the timer is counting down a minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds.
Yeah, I think when it gets low enough, I would just shove all of the gold into me. Just power everything up.
Yeah, you feel that rush. You feel it stronger than you have before. Every ounce, every bit of you is filled to bursting with this light. You feel like it's coming out your ears, coming out your eyes, and then the timer, 3, 2, 1, and as it hits 0, you hear this sound. I think it's loud enough to wake all of you up, of the loudest, largest die you've ever heard tumbling. The entire sky shifts like a line moving across it, and suddenly the sky is bright. There are 3 suns burning in it, and your vision blares out as a depthless cold fills your entire body. You feel all that energy rush out of you, all of your systems power down. You feel pain in all of your joints and twitching in your muscles as you heave over and vomit into the street.
Yeah, I think I'm just sitting there. I think at first, I think the suns come on as I'm still powered, and for a second there, I thought I was so powerful that I turned on the sun.
Yes, it makes perfect sense to you.
Yeah, because that's just how strong I felt. And now I'm barely able to even hold myself up on my hands and knees.
Nice. So, the rest of you wake up. There's a lovely inn breakfast waiting for you. Magnus, none of it looks appealing, but you could probably shove down just enough to get going. But yeah, your friend Tempest looks rough. You doubt he got any sleep at all.
Does Daniel feel any better after a long rest?
No, you wake up and they hurt just as maybe more than before. You see scabs and blisters have formed overnight. And just to mechanize your pain and discomfort, when you're down at 2 hit points and it's below your maximum, you do have 1 disadvantage on everything. So everything's just a little bit harder.
Yep.
And yeah, and like when we wake up and it's very clear you're not feeling any better. First of all, like I roll out and like literally just like I slept in my armor, right? I just roll out, like I grab that cloak, I throw it on, and I'm ready to go. And I'm like, get changed, I'll be downstairs. And I like Amscray out of the room, leaving you the room. And then I'll go downstairs to Dane. Daniel's hands are still all messed up. You must have some kind of heal or something, right?
Oh, you're muted.
Something like that.
Cool. Just she's I don't know how to, what do I, anyway, he's getting dressed. So like make him let you heal him. Cause we don't like we gotta be full strength. What the fuck, Magnus? How much did you drink last night?
Dude, I barely had any. I got those coins. You know, and I was so full of power.
Did you let the timer run out?
No. I'm not going to waste good coins. I took them.
And what happened? Oh, shit.
I fucking made the suns come on. And then I like, my whole head blew up. Like, I don't know, man.
We got to get you some more.
Well, yeah. And yeah, that was going to be, my strategy. But right now, like, I can barely eat this biscuit. Like, yeah, we need to get more.
Yeah.
And so during breakfast, Dane, do you wanna try and heal Daniel?
Yeah,
Astrid?
that's the plan. I'll
All right.
knock on the door.
Yeah, I think, I kind of stumble down after a while. Like it clearly took a while to get out of bed and get dressed because like touching anything hurts, and kind of just, very carefully like look at my food and like, ow, every motion hurts. Like I can do it. It's it's not preventing me from doing things, but it's like slowing me down, just like the anticipation of pain from everything.
Do you want me to heal you?
They're not gonna tell you to kill me instead, are they?
They might, but I wouldn't do it.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Roll me a wisdom roll.
Sorry, just finding where I put my party. To save on bandwidth, we've stopped updating you. No.
Judgy.
Yeah, right. Here we are. That is 2 successes.
All right, yeah. That's more than enough. You No, that's cute. Yeah, there's no special on that. So one of your wounds is healed, Astrid. And some of your
Awesome, thank
blisters
you.
fade, some of the stiffness fades. You don't have that disadvantage anymore.
Yay. I just like kind of slowly relax and think back like,
Sweet. I told you you'd be
Thanks.
okay.
yeah, thank you. Tell the gods thank you.
So you finish up breakfast at the inn. You wave goodbye to Pops and head down the road. We have a series of like quick cut small adventures along the way, especially as you get closer to the tower. There's like raiding. Was it goblins or kobolds that you said was the first adventure there?
Kobolds.
Kobolds, like raiding kobolds there. But you start to get into the surrounding areas of the tower, and you start to see some of the effect that Pops was talking about. The vegetation, it's not like black and white. It's definitely still brown and green, but it's faded out. It's grayed out. The colors are leached. As you start to pass the farms that are in this area, you see like perfectly symmetrical little cube-shaped gray farmhouses and perfect rows of like dull grassy vegetables, and you swear you see like the same farmer's wife, and 3 farmers' children and a dog waving at you peacefully from each farm as you go by. The tower tree grows bigger and bigger in your vision, with that sparkling white flame shining at the top of it. And as you start to get close enough to discern details to it, you can see that it's not just a tree anymore. It's been carved. There are windows, there are doors. It's been formed into this living tower, and the nest on the top of it is enormous. You see circling around it at various times as you make your way down the road, 6 rocks, 1 for each of the eggs that you left behind, shining with gold, with white flame crowns on their head as a sort of plumage. And as you're like starting to worry that you're getting close enough you might be detected, there is a rumbling at your feet, and a sound like all of the cell doors clanking and sliding open all at once in the prison. And there's a door, a barred gate that opens in the wall, in the air in front of you. It's 10 feet tall, and out of it comes striding the warden. He says, "Welcome, adventurers. You've successfully healed the blight of Shadowport, and you're here to face the corruption in this land as well. It's good to see you progressing along your way."
This is real cool, but don't you think it's time for a break?
There are no breaks in the adventuring life. Heroism and change await you ahead, but be warned, all of the tools that have served you in the past may not necessarily serve you in the future. And he opens his mouth, and like the sound of the sort of like staticky squawk of the prison PA system coming open, this voice comes out of his helmet saying, "Attention inmates." What was it? Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong tab. "Attention inmates, none may fear while the sun still shines." Staticky. And as he inclines his head to you and backs through the gateway, you hear the sound and the clanking of that gate starting to close again. When it snaps shut, dropping to the ground in front of it is a single coin, not like the fair gold coins, but a solid disc of metal about this big, with the warden's face on one side and a prison bar on the other. And as that final clang hits, Daniel, Astrid, this like omnipresent level of adrenaline and fear in you just shuts down. You feel calm. You feel peaceful. You can't hear your sword. Don't mark yourself down to 0. You still have those 2 points. You just can't feel any fear or access any of that.
I mean, right now I'm happy about that.
It's after like a
I
day and a
freaking
half,
hate being
2
scared
days
all
of
the
this.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Fair warning, guys. I'm gonna get into character now for this part.
Sweet.
that's amazing.
So we should call you Blockhead. Like, do we have to be? Is it going to mess with you if we're not in character? I'm like, I can't do the improv thing.
You can do what you want. I'm gonna be Blockhead because that's how I'm gonna get through.
Cool.
No, I think you're right. I think our characters know how to handle this a lot better than we do, right?
Well, I mean, but we're playing our characters.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how to use a sword in real life.
Well,
but
yeah,
you
but I mean, like, I want to get out. Like, I don't know if my character wants to get out. Like,
I mean, you've got the
Yeah.
go ahead.
you've got your stats. So, as long as you're as long as you're like, if your character knows how to use a sword, then you're cool.
As you're standing there discussing and planning, you hear an echoing caw of a giant birded throat flying right above you, which Dane and Javier, it's sort of startling, this loud call, but you see this bird passing above you. Daniel and Magnus, this call echoes, reverberates in your head, doubles you over in pain for a moment as you hear echoing through this bird's scream. You hear, "Creator, creator, creator."
Oh,
It
wow,
passes.
that's. Hey, man, I wish Barrett would have let you have one. This would have made. You're right. This would have made the greatest animal companion ever.
And I do one of these like tap Magnus on the shoulder while I'm looking up, and I'm like, give me that hook shot.
Yeah. Here you go. You can use it.
And like I snatch it out of his hand, and on the next pass that the rock makes, I like do one of these, and I just hook it right around its leg, and up into the air I go.
Yeah, you would think I would learn better than to say this by now, but why don't you make me a dex roll?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Do I get my fool die for this?
I mean, yeah. Hooking your little grappling hook onto a low-flying plane is not the safest plan.
All right. Any disadvantages or advantages to discuss, or is this just like?
I think this is at the very edge of. Oh, let's see. Let's start with difficulty, because now that's the distance is going to be included in the difficulty, not
Yeah,
as a
sure.
disadvantage. So yeah, I think this is going to be like a difficulty 3. This is like the very peak of human ability to do this
Sure.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't think of any particular disadvantages right here at the moment. I'll give you an advantage for this like well calibrated shooting matron.
Yeah, and it's just kind of passing over us and not doing any kind of evasive maneuvering or anything like that. So cool. So advantage means 1 extra die, right?
Yep.
So I've got 5 dice plus my full dice, and I need 3 hits to make this work. Is what's going on with the difficulty 3, right?
That is it.
Cool. All right. Let's see what we got here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. I hit on every single one of the dice I rolled.
Jeez. Yeah, you hook this thing. You have like.
Oh wait, do my specials kick in here too, right?
If they can apply to the situation, yes.
If your D6 is in your possession, it's added to a dice pool anytime in any dice pool where the fool's D6 has been added, you gain. Special. Roll another D6 and add it to the present dice pool. Yes, if you roll a 6, this special can be activated again. Okay. So I rolled a 6 on my full dice. So I'm gonna roll again.
Okay.
That is another 6. Okay. I want to make sure that let me just make sure that I'm. Okay, yeah. So I got two more hits after the initial. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8 hits on that.
All right. So it takes you 3 to pull off this amazing stunt, which only leaves you with 5 more to spend.
Yeah, which I think like I I pull the trigger, it reels me right in, and like the rock kind of dives, and I do one of these whoa, and like it swings me up around the top and loops around, and I land, bam, right in the middle of its neck, like hands to either side of its head, so that I can actually like try to steer it. I think like I am now riding it rather than as opposed to, like being dragged along by it.
Yeah. I think if you use up 2 more, you can get up there and have like a sort of rope around it, but you're fighting with it for control. If you want to spend 3 instead, you can have like that smooth "you're my pet now" ride.
Oh yeah,
and any other successes you can spend to either get more rocks or bring more of your any of your companions up with you, things like that.
Oh man.
So you'd spent 3, at least 2
okay.
more to get on the rock.
Okay.
Leaving
5
you
had
with
a total of 8.
Yeah.
So 5 gets me on its back. 7 I can actually control where it's going.
No, 6 you can control where it's going.
6 I can control where it's going, and then what? And then I think the other thing is like as I'm getting whipped up in the air, I just reach out and snag Magnus's hand and pull him up along with me. And so it'll be the 2 of us on the back of this thing with Blockhead and Astrid down on the ground.
Nice. Yeah, you have this thing temporarily under your control. It's more that you haven't left it enough freedom to effectively fight against you, but damn, it's trying.
Yeah, all right. And like Magnus is probably just clinging onto it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, dude, can you hack it or something?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I want to look and see if there's something with the Fairfield on this bird that I can somehow hack.
Yeah, you see this bird. It's a completely natural sort of biological bird of this world, and you get discouraged at first, but you haven't been looking towards its head because you're hangover in that bright light. But as you do, you see like energy of the Fairfield and strands of its programming leaking down from that white flame crown down into the head of this thing.
Yeah, I want to try to hack it and like so we can control it.
All right. I will. Let's see. That's going to be your intelligence. This thing. Ah, crap! I didn't open my things, but we'll say it's probably just a wisdom 2. It's big animal, so or a willpower 2. So wisdom 2, willpower 4. There we go. So it's going to be a difficulty 4 to completely overcome it. You have an advantage because you studied that black flame. I will give you another advantage if you pull it out and have to make a second hacking roll on it after you use its power to subdue this thing.
Okay, so I'm rolling my intelligence +1 for the advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Plus another advantage if you want to like use the power of this black flame one and open your mind up to its influence again.
Oh yeah, I will definitely do that.
All right, so dexterity +2. Anything else you want to try and argue or work with El Acierto for another advantage?
Where is my... Oh, I was rolling red dice. Okay. So there's those. That's 4 successes.
Wow. Yeah. So what is the visuals? What does this look like as you hack this thing and bring it under your control?
So I think, you know, I'm just barely holding on to this thing and letting my visor do most of the work. And I think, especially when I tap into the power of this dark flame, I'm like, my hand just kind of goes like into like the base of this bird's like neck. Like I just kind of reach into it and kind of tap into the fair field completely. Almost like I'm holding, like almost like I'm holding onto its reins, like I'm reining it in and kind of just taking control over its programming.
Nice.
And I think like where my hand goes into it, there's just like a golden glow that is kind of seeping out.
All right. And as we zoom back down to the people on the ground, I want you to make another Fairfield roll. Straight intelligence, no bonuses. Difficulty 3 this time against the dark flame. And we'll find out what that is when we come back. So, back down on the ground, there was this mad look on El Cierto's face. There was the whoomph of the grappling gun going up, and then there's the sort of receding screams of Magnus as they fly up into the air.
Yeah, I mean, if they're
Holy
about to do that and then come back, it's out of character. If they're about to do that, come back and pick us up and then shortcut this tower. I'm down with that. We don't need to have us separately start to climb the tower.
Sure, they're coming back though.
Well, I don't know. That's why I was saying maybe
It's a
we
fair
go
question.
one step further before cutting back to us.
I think Tempest is driving now. Where are you driving to?
Well, it depends. Do I see anything where I might be able to get some fair gold?
I mean, you see bright glowing outlines around the other 5 rocks and the one that you're flying on. And then, of course, there's bright gleaming white flame coming from the nest at the top of this wizard's tree tower. I think you're of a level where you can see like this bright shining throne and a figure sitting on it in the middle of that giant nest up there.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think I would want to go pick them up because I think, you know, I'm assuming that there's probably going to be some fair gold around this throne area. That makes the most sense. So I pick everybody else up because I'm going to need their help to do whatever it is they want to do while I go score some gold.
As you turn the rock and head back down towards your companions, you hear from that throne at the center of the nest, you hear this echoing, reverberating, like magically enhanced, shrieking bird caw as the other 5 swerve from where they're doing this like gentle pattern and all start turning to converge towards you. So,
yeah. I
think
want to
you
just
got
keep
enough
us
time.
going down.
Yeah, I think you got enough time to go pick them up, but then it's going to be fancy flying from there to deal with the incoming rocks and get yourself to the tower.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, most pilots fly a little bit drunk anyway, and a little bit hungover. You know, it's all good. What good pilot isn't hungover?
It's natural.
And this is totally a thing where the rock just swoops down and doesn't even stop, but snatches them both up in its claws, probably, right? That's, yeah.
Yes, there's that question of, are you sure they're coming back for us? And you hear this like louder caw and just these giant claws cage around one around each of you.
was hoping we'd get to ride on the back, but okay.
And we're not scared. 'cause we
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
there
scared
is.
at all. This is fun.
Yeah.
It would be more fun if we're on the back, but still, it's still fun. And not scary in the least.
It's very interesting. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely got you engaged. You're not bored.
Yep, definitely. And my hands are free. So like, there are advantages to just holding on to me. I just hope it doesn't drop me, but like I'm not concerned about that because I'm not scared.
Yeah, this seems like a good time to cast some spells.
Yeah. What do you want to cast here while you're being carried up in this cage?
Let's there's a miracle. Where's this miracle? Ah, yes. I'm going to cast Forewarned.
Nice.
Which I do successfully with 3 successes. So my guard is set to 4, and I am warned, which is my wisdom, and I am warned of any, what does it say, imminent threats.
Yeah, you see 5 angry rocks that are turning towards you.
Fair enough. Sometimes you don't need to ask the gods these questions.
So I think getting to the tower is going to be, like I said, a fancy piloting roll. I think this is going to be difficulty 5, not just to achieve, but for every one that you miss the difficulty by, you're going to take an attack from one of the rocks.
Could we use a shield?
Yeah, against the attacks once they come in.
Okay.
Definitely. And
Actually-
and any or all of you can work to help Magnus with his flying because difficulty 5 is a big one.
How does helping work mechanically in the game?
Describe to me how, and you'll give him an advantage die. And then if any of those attacks do come in, you will be more open to the fallout.
Oh well, I'm gonna call out things that neither of us can see that he needs to look out for, of course.
Nice. So you're
Magically
down
forewarned,
below.
hidden dangers.
Yeah, you can sort of get this underneath view where they're blocked by a lot of like rock body right below
Well,
them.
that and I have this like visions of danger.
Yes,
spell going on, so
yes.
enabling me to know what's about to happen a second before it does. So that I think is the real utility I'm providing.
Yeah, so Blockhead's sort of echoing divine voice like calls out right before the rocks start like swerving or making a surprise dive or something.
And it'll be pretty precise stuff, just like for the color of it. It's like bank left 10 degrees, something like that.
I have a like completely mundane, non-magical crossbow, but maybe I can make them a little more hesitant to come after us.
Yeah, I think certainly if you shoot around like the face neck sort of like tenderer areas, it's going to be toothpicks to them, but those are going to be the most painful spots to hit them with toothpicks.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, I don't expect to kill them or even seriously hurt them with this, but I just, personally, I don't like to go into flying toothpicks.
Yeah, and anything from Javier?
Oh yeah. I do that thing where I've got like one hand grabbed hard on a big handful of feathers, and like shing, the bow comes out, and like one hand I reach around behind into the quiver and like snock an arrow like this, flip it around, like stick the arrow tip into one of my smoke bombs, right? And then like flip the bow around, bowstring in my teeth, and send a smoke bomb arrow at one of those rocks that's charging towards us so it blows up in its face so that we can kind of then swerve out of the way.
Yeah, that's beautiful. We get the like dogfight ballistics, except it's just a big explosion of smoke instead of any fire or anything.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Sure.
And you hear like
little flak,
birdie coughing, whatever that sounds like,
Yes,
from a giant bird throat. So yeah, Magnus, that's going to be 3 advantages to you. I'll give you a chance to describe any extra that you might have, but otherwise it's going to be, I think it's going to be int plus, because this is you're still doing your hacking on it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't think I have anything else to add to that, because I don't have any of my powers active.
Fair
So
enough.
I will just go ahead and roll my int plus 3.
And your dex was the same, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just flavor.
So that is 3 successes. Or I'm sorry, yeah, 3 successes, yeah.
All right. So y'all are going to have 2 attacks coming in at you. It's going to affect all of you equally, which is fair enough because these are giant birds.
Is my current guard, should my guard be refreshed back to max? Or?
Yes, any guard that you had lost in the previous encounter comes back. Any health that wasn't actively healed stays damaged.
I got my shield gun.
Nice. Yeah, what did I have you roll for the shield gun before?
But was it Constitution?
It was a protecting thing. Yeah, I like that. So get that roll ready to tell me about. And let me see. Notes on notes on notes. Let's see these guys. Yeah, they're difficult. So, oh, damn. Wrong tabs everywhere. So, I'll give them each a die because the 2 of them are working together because this is a happy family attacking you. So, wow. The first attack has 4 hits coming in. So, what'd you get on your protecting roll there,
1.
Daniel? 1. So you can pull it up and you can protect yourself. So you have that extra 2 defense, but it'll pop after this first one. And the rest of you, what are your defenses?
I've got 4. I've got 4 guard.
What's your defense?
Oh,
2. Okay. So yeah, you'll take 3 hits coming in at you, El Cierto, Blockhead.
My defense is 3.
Jeez. Okay, you'll take 2 hits coming in out at you, and
Tempest. My defense is 1.
So you'll take the full 4 coming in at you. Those come off of your guard first, and then the second one's going to hit.
So my guard is gone.
None. It was all 2s on the second roll.
Nice.
So I think the second one, it was on this like dangerous collision path straight at you. I mean, y'all just took a pummeling and this thing was going to hit the fuck out of you. But that one that still has the like smoke bomb sort of stuck on its neck and it comes flying just under it. That one gets confused in the smoke and sort of swerves off. And through all of these rocks and this incredibly dangerous firefight, I think getting away with just that one solid tag is pretty impressive. So you come landing for a not very comfortable or subtle landing because this rock also took a whole bunch of damage from running into its buddy. And you come to a sort of tumbling halt, splayed out in front of this shining, glowing throne on which you see dramatic pause, too many tabs. Daniel's wizard, whose name is?
Let me find this. I actually did write something down. Oh, come on. Why do you have to load sticky notes?
It looks like you're trying to name a wizard.
It was Odalis the Uncanny.
Odalis the Uncanny.
Yep.
That's lovely. You see Odalis the Uncanny there. He's wreathed in a corona of bright white flames, and you see him dressed not in the normal. Now the adjective. You see him clothed not in the normal wizard's robes that you would always draw him in, but you see him in this giant heaping feathered cloak, with a beak coming down over his head and these giant feathers that you recognize as the exact same color as the mother rock, the big one that you ran away from the first time. He's wearing a cloak made out of her feathers and stands up grandly from the glowing throne and says, "You fools! You have come right into the center of my power, and now I shall bleed you dry, as I have all of the artistic, creative people of this area. Something more impressive than that. County. Region! There's the word." And on the dramatic rewrite, we're going to go ahead and pause, take our first break, and we'll be back at 45 after. Sound good? Nice.
My cat is busy pulling laundry under the door.
Cats are cats.
Yep. It's a nice thing about cats. When they're bored, they will find something to do. It might not be something you want them to do.
That's also what I say about gods.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let her do that. I don't care if she pulls the laundry under the door. If I stop her from that, she'll find something worse to do. So
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, so we're back. Let me frame the scene a little more fully, and then we'll get to whatever nonsense you have planned. So you see him there, Odalis the Uncanny, in his bird cloak, and as his voice booms out, it has that like echoing, deep avian howl behind it, like you've heard from these rocks. He's standing in front of a marble throne, carved and about 12 feet tall, with the most like intricate and beautiful designs you've seen carved into anything on it. It's gleaming with this white radiated power. You're on this nest, which is several football fields in diameter. It's a nest to hold 6 adult rocks and a wizard's court. Um, Heaped and piled almost haphazardly behind the throne. You see statues, you see paintings, you see carvings, you see instruments and paper with writing and music on it. You see all forms of art, and chained in sort of like a half circle around the throne, you see artists fervently working at their craft, several painters like painting and going as fast as they can, sculptors hacking away at wood or stone. All of their eyes are glowing with the same white light, and they look various shades of emaciated, unkempt, without sleep, starving. There's that one that's still chained to his easel, even though he's dead and looks sort of like a mummified corpse. And the rocks go back to circling above you. The one that you had sort of hacked with the pain of this impact stumbles away and limps off to the side and clumsily flies away. What do you do?
I think Dane kind of looks to Astrid or slash Daniel to make the sort of for how we're going to play this, since it's this old character.
Yeah. I have no idea. I'm not scared. I can't do anything. Like I can't do what it did with the last one. I mean, but if you can draw the flame out of him, and out of these other people, then like that's what I had to do to Golden, and then like he was just a person again.
You can't do that now because the game master has decreed that you can't use your fear power.
Right.
You hear this giant sniffing of breath.
Somebody else could do it.
As he says, I smell it on you. The power, the gift, the inspiration. Oh, the marvelous works I could draw out of you. Come closer, you two. Let me take a look at you.
Sorry, you two? Who else is he gesturing at?
He's speaking directly to you, Daniel, but you also feel that resonance, Tempest.
I kind of look at the others. I'm like, there's got to be a way you guys can do it too. And then I step forward.
I'm stepping forward, but constantly scanning around to try to find some fair gold.
It's shining off of all of those pieces of art, every one of them a magnum opus, a masterpiece, and shining with its own fair gold. But as you step forward, he sort of peers in at you and stands up satisfied. Yes, I believe you will do. And as a half dozen of the paintings catch fire behind him, he lifts and slams his staff onto the ground, sending out a wave of brilliant white energy. Let me make a roll real quick. Let's see. Go with white dice for this guy. could be better. But do any of you have a willpower of 4 or less?
Mine is 4.
Okay.
How do
Mine
we
is also
calculate
4.
willpower?
Willpower is double your wisdom.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't have that.
But 3 of you
mine's
have a
4.
4. Yes, the 3 of you are swept up into this like blinding, beautiful light that washes over you, and you find yourself lost in an illusory world of all the fantasies, all the things, all the simple comforts of life that being an ex-con has denied you. Just satisfaction, companionship, wealth, comfort, a lack of fear. You find yourselves in these beautiful worlds of your mind's own making, except for Blockhead, who you see these phantasms rise up around you. You see the beauty of them. You see your wife and children, an expensive home, a garage full of like cars that you've collected. But you see through them. You see the unreality in them.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna ignite my my warhammer and look into the flame instead, which I do successfully. Yeah.
So, what are you planning on doing?
I think I'll say to him, maybe it's for the best they can't see what happens next, and stride up to him.
All right, you have that going. You do have your enchanted weapon if you want to try that as you're striding up to him.
Yeah, I'll use that.
All right, so give me a wisdom roll as you come up towards him.
A wisdom roll. Okay.
It's
Do I use my?
Oh, I meant you could cast the enchanted weapon spell.
Oh, sorry. I thought that I was casting that while all this other shit was going on.
Sure, yeah.
I had already rolled for it.
Oh, you did have a roll for it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna. Well, maybe I'll give this guy his chance. I'll say our enemy is the game master, not you. He's set you up for us to kill you. You should turn on him.
Look around you. Look at all of this power I have to burn with but a touch. And he reaches out and touches like this beautifully carved statue of jade right next to the throne. And it burns and disintegrates away into white light. You see the glow from his eyes grow even brighter. You see, it feeds me. The beauty of this world carries me forward.
You can have whatever you want here. We just need to leave. But I can see this isn't going to go anywhere. And I'm going to swing at him. Okay, so this is an attack, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be a strength attack.
Okay, and I have advantage because of the nature of my weapon. And I assume I do not get to add my my damage or whatever. I assume I don't get to add my D12.
I think you do because you have a spell on it that's currently affecting it.
Nice. Okay. Well then.
The D12 is added to your dice pool anytime a miracle is influencing your action.
It certainly is. Okay, that is 2 successes, one of which is an 11.
That is a ridiculous success.
The D12 is a good die to have in your pool.
What's the other hit? Is it a 6?
It's a 5.
All right.
And so I assume that hits that rolls above the 6 also trigger the special?
Yes. So you have 2 different specials you could choose from. Your base one, if a hit wounds, this probably isn't going to get past his guard, so you might want to go with the other one. Target suffers a disadvantage on next task.
Yeah, I think that's what I want.
Nice. And that's 2. Let me look at his stats. He has a defense of 2, so that eats 1 off of his guard.
Do I get to know how much guard he has?
Yeah, sure. He has 2 guard. He has 2 decks.
That's fine.
So, comment, draw a thing.
And I'm going to do my best
One
to
off up there.
prevent him
Okay.
from touching any more paintings. So.
All right. So you like position yourself between the paintings and him.
Yeah. Does striking him have any effect on these guys off in La La Land?
Yeah. Since you got through and did a damage, I'm gonna give
not a wound, but
not a wound, but you ate off of it. You got through his defense, which is the main thing. I will give all of the rest of you a chance to roll something as you hear this like resounding, echoing clang. He got 4 successes, so yeah, make me a wisdom roll. You're getting a help from him, so we'll knock that down from 4 to 3. Wisdom roll difficulty 3 right now. Which I realize, given all of your stats, that's not really going to happen.
That's 0 successes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a success.
But you hear this echoing, and it sort of distracts from the fantasy around you, and you almost get this sense before it piles back on top of you. But I'd like to stop in with the other 3 of you and get a.
Do we each get a bonus die on that roll? Is that what you?
No, he was knocking the difficulty down from 4 to 3.
There we go. Okay, cool.
The next time it'll presumably be knocked down further. Okay. But for the moment, I want to hear.
1, 2. I got 1 success as well.
On. Gotcha. Yep, gotcha. But from the other 3 of you, I would like to hear a little vignette of what this perfectly tempting scenario world is for you. And whoever thinks of something first, go ahead and call it out.
I'm going to hand you my die.
Nice. Tell me your scenario first, and then we'll tell you how you get out.
My vision of a perfect life is none of this fatherhood responsibility bullshit, not having to be perfect all the time, not having to like never drink and watch what I eat and all this kind of stuff and everything. My vision of a perfect life is this. Is to hang out with my friends, play this game, like fight bad guys, do cool shit, not have to worry about any of that other stuff. And so I kind of think that maybe what happens is like, it's like, and I'm sitting at the table, and then we start talking about the adventure, and we start playing and everything, and we start getting into it, and it is like I just fall right back into it from, because he completely miscalculated about what my vision of what I really want to be doing. Yeah. And what I really want to be doing is exactly what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I think you go to make a roll for your character, the ranger fool archetype.
Yes, yeah.
You're picking up the dice, and you hear you hear this weird clang, and you look down at the dice in your hand, and you see that one odd one, the strange mark on its face, and everything like it grows bigger and bigger, and you fall from the heavens down onto this world. You see briefly the planet of Die laid out below you, with 20 sides, flat plains like a D20, and you fall further and further until just this one plane of it becomes everything, and you see the glowing wizard's tower below you, and you fall into your own body. But before we get to that, I do want to hear what our other fantasies are. So either one of the other 2 of you, what's your fantasy world?
I think for Magnus, the fantasy world is I think it's nothing about what Magnus is doing with his life right now, because I think while he escaped what he used to be doing, he's just miserable. Like, he's working his 9 to 5, he's doing this community work that, yeah, whatever. I think his fantasy is like he wants to be basically on, like, he does kind of want to be like an actual pro gamer. I think in one of our earlier sessions he lied and said that, yeah, he tried to get into pro gaming, and he was just, yeah, like we said, he was just being a gold farmer, like, to hit, like, he made that equation. But yeah, I think he wants to be on stage, like, playing, like, maybe even playing like D&D, like playing something, like, he wants to be on stage performing and showing everybody how awesome he is.
Nice.
I think that the thing around Daniel, it keeps changing. Because I don't think Daniel knows what he wants, and I think there isn't one like stable thing that he has like always envisioned as a perfect life. And I don't think that's because I don't even think that that's because he's envisioned a lot of different perfect lives, over his life. I think it's more like he just doesn't have one. And the fact that it keeps changing is like what is keeping him there, like the like little snatches of possibilities. It's interesting, it's mesmerizing, and the only thing they have in common is he's not scared in any of them.
Nice. So El Acierto, you're falling infinitely, you fall into yourself, and I think with that sort of like phantom momentum, you break out of your sort of wobbling trance state, and you go down on like a hand and a knee, as damn names.
Noun the adjective.
Noun the adjective. Odalis. Odalis the uncanny. His head snaps to you and he says, "Impossible."
And I kind of am standing and I'm grinning and I say, you've mistaken me for someone creative. And snap the bow out, couple of arrows into it, and I turn it sideways and do one of these and shoot, and the arrows go like zing out to either side of him and shear right through a couple of those paintings.
Nice. Yeah, make me an entirely normal dex roll.
I'm gonna do that.
You will get. I will give you an advantage because Dane is sort of blocking his access and his ability to get in the way of the art.
Yeah, and he specifically set that up that he's keeping him away from it. So I like that. Cool. Okay, that's 2 hits.
2 hits, yeah. I think you one arrow, like it pierces through a couple of paintings before like into the wood of one of the frames.
Yep.
But the other one bounces off of this giant stone statue, and there's this moment where it's like, well, that was useless. There's like maybe a little chip out of its cheek, but then there's the very slow like as it crashes back and crushes several other things under its weight.
Kick his ass!
So yeah, he does not look in any way happy about any of this. But you're attacking, his power source for the future, but this one with the hammer just hit him and interrupted his spell. So I think his hands start to swirl, and that light glows brighter in his eyes as he chants out his arcane words and fires some energy at you, Blockhead.
Okay.
Get rid of... No, I'm not going to get rid of those. Those are the ones that succeeded. I'm going to get rid of these crappy ones.
My defense is 3, and I have 2 guard.
Okay. And he is just pulling this one off. He's cut off from burning more paintings at the moment, so that is 3, though.
3 successes. So that's 1. Does 1 hit off my guard?
Yes.
Okay.
So you are successfully plinking at each other as you feel this burning singeing going over your skin, but the world around you, everything like gets a little grayer, a little less colorful for a moment before it sort of ramps back up. And it's back to you, Blockhead. What are you going to do?
I laugh and I say, you're a smart guy. You're drawing on something finite, and I'm drawing on something infinite. How do you think this is going to end? And I cast a spell to reset my guard to 4.
Nice. How's that go? How'd that roll go?
Fine.
It's an easy spell. And remember, you do have larger miracles open to you if you want to get to that point. But right now, yeah, you're mocking him. You're keeping his attention where I think some of your armor had gotten like dented from his blow. You just cast your spell and it right back out into perfect gleaming shape. And so while he's distracted, what's El Cierto doing?
Did any gold come out of any of those paintings I shot?
Yeah, you've seen it enough. You see those like little spinning, floating discs of light.
Cool. I like, run, skid, like snag one, and whip back around, run over to where Magnus is, like whatever. He's like, and I like, pull his shirt up and like just jam it in there.
And I think as you're like sliding down into the pile of paintings and broken treasures there, you see this giant beaked face of this rock that has come walking up behind it. He sees you and comes stabbing his beak in. So give me a dex roll. Go difficulty 2 because he's trying to avoid hitting the throne and his master.
Sure. All right. And this is just regular.
Yeah, no fool stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think there's any. I'm trying to think what I would have for an advantage, and I don't think that there's really. Let's see what I got here. Three hits.
Wow. Yeah. So I think this beak, it comes crashing in at you. Instead of hitting you, it actually destroys more of these unreproducible works of masterpiece art. You grab up some of that coin, you go dashing back to your friend.
And it might even be a thing where like it crashes down, I go like flying ass over tea kettle, like end up crumpled in a heap down below him, and just reach up, like I punch it into his crotch, I punch it into his stomach, and then boom, it goes into the slot there.
So yeah, Tempest, you feel this, well, you feel pain, really unpleasant pain, and then you feel this rush of warmth and life and energy, and incongruously in your fantasy, you hear all of this machinery whirring up until you start to see the like blinking error warning of Gypsy in your visor, and you come back to yourself.
Oh yeah, and I think that powers up my energy blade, and I just like instinctively have it like have my hand on it, and like when I fully come to, I'm just like holding out the energy blade, like pointed at the wizard, and yeah, it is just glowing like bright blue, just ready to go.
Yeah, you want to attack
Yeah,
him? Roll for it.
I turn and point at the wizard, and I'm like, "You are so fucked now."
What? What are you doing? No, another one!
And yeah, I want to just rush over there and attack him.
Yeah, give me that roll. He's engaged with Blockhead. I'll give you an advantage. You've got your energy blade powered up, so you get your D10.
Yeah, so that is going to be, that's 3 successes, and 1 6 and 1 8. So my energy blade on those 2 hits bypasses guard.
Nice. And that's 3 total, you said?
Yeah, with 2 of them bypassing guard.
Yeah, then first describe the special effect of what your powered up energy blade looks like here, and then tell us how he did.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I think when it's powered up, like it just glows like a bright blue, like almost to like it's basically like a lightsaber, but more of like it's got more shape to it, so it looks like a cool like anime sword.
Nice.
And yeah, I think I rush head on, and I think the first attack like makes contact, and then I just do like almost like a Zorro type, multi swing, and both of them hit with the full force of the energy, and they just kind of like go through him, and then click a button, and like the energy sort of fades a little bit, and then yeah, you just see like the massive wounds open up where it went through him.
Nice. And after the first hit, he turned away from Blockhead, and you heard the starting words of this like dread arcane spell on his lips that sputters and dies as he looks down at the wounds opening in front of him, or not in front of him, in him, very much in him. And Astrid, your bubble, your fantasy world pops. The next door you go through is bright and unpleasant, and suddenly you find yourself here, and gonna get it, even though this is the last time I might need it. Odalus, the uncanny, bleeding, looking in shock from his own chest up to you, falls to his knees. What do you do?
Yeah, I just kind of look at him like, and then, no, you know what? It wasn't the gods, and like I realized that this took a while. So I just kind of shrug, I think, and
Yeah, I mean,
well,
you see your companions,
all right.
they're panting. They've obviously been in heated battle.
Good job, guys.
So yeah, he falls, he bleeds out and breathes his last, and you see sort of gleaming in amongst the feathers of that cloak, you see an amulet with a bright shining carved diamond in the middle of it.
Take a look at Magnus. And, you picked up the other one. What did it do?
I mean, not much really. Like it was just kind of it was just kind of a cool thing. Like it seemed like it had a lot of power in it, but yeah, it didn't really get much of an effect out of it.
Okay. Still not scared. I pick it
up. Great. Yeah. I think that's gonna be a wisdom roll.
Oh, good. My lowest score. That is 0 successes.
So yeah, you you grab it. You sort of look at it, and you feel this voice like waking up in the back of your mind. You're like, oh, that must be the sword coming back. But this is a different voice, as it whispers to you of beauty, of all of the art that you could bring into the world, the things that you could create. Imagine the possibilities. Imagine the worlds you could bring forth. And there is a power there. If you want, you could draw on it at some point, but it will into your mind, unlike the rolls that Tempest has been making.
Right. Okay. I'll keep that in mind for.
Keep that in mind. We sort of need to move on, but does anyone else want to have any scenes before we depart the nest?
No, I want. I want to do like on the road essentially, but
Yeah, and I just want to get whatever gold I can find.
I think we're in a good like D6 plus 2 area, so give me that.
Okay, that's a 2, so 4 gold.
Nice.
Yeah, I realize Tempest is just totally the I loot the bodies character.
It's you need your next fix.
What's the story with that cool feather cloak he was wearing?
You want to pick it up?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take a look at that.
Yeah, it is huge, and like I said, it was very bulky, but it's surprisingly light. It almost like flies up out of your hands as you use too much force to pick it up.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. And as you wrap it around you?
Yeah, I snapped that sucker right on. Yeah, oh yeah.
I was about to say you did, but I figured even with the fool, I should ask.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, like that's going right on me, and then I kind of like look around, and then I take an experimental like crouch, jump up in the air, like maybe flap my arms a little bit.
It looks fairly silly as you jump up in the air, flap your arms, and land like people would expect.
Okay. Yeah, right.
But as you make this sort of like oofing sound as you hit, there's this resonant, echoing bird howl quality to your voice. And as that little bark of sound goes out, you suddenly get this feeling in your mind. You know exactly where the other 6 are. The rocks flying ahead above you.
Like, but I only know where they are.
Do you push on it?
Oh yeah, that one that we rode. I'm gonna like say, so I know where they are. So I'm gonna focus on that one that we were riding before. I'm gonna be like, hey, come here.
And with a like flapping and whooshing of wind, this rock comes landing on the nest a little bit awkwardly because he's all sore.
Yeah, and I like look at everyone else and I say, okay, I know how we're getting. Where's the next place we're going? The tower.
The mountain, the burning chapel on the top of the mountain.
I say, I know how we're getting to the top of the mountain.
Nice.
Can we ride on the back this time?
So anything else before everybody piles on the rock? Okay. Then let's as we're traveling, our travel montage is going to be another paint the scene as you fly over this area that's now free of the white flames infection. I want to hear how like vibrancy and color and art and life have come back to this land. So yeah, anybody who thinks of something, give me a view from Rockback.
Absolutely, one of the things we see is because we're kind of traveling over like the fields and stuff where there's like the farm, they're farming and stuff like that and everything. All of the windmills that we see, because that's like something big enough we can see from the ground, have had like intricate designs painted on the vanes of the windmills. So there's these like just beautiful, colorful pinwheels that are going around as the wind is kind of slowly moving them in a circle. Like not a thing that peasants anywhere would ever do on their like actual practical windmills that they're actually using for work. But they're like it's like a bunch of like almost like children's pinwheels like laid out across the land as we're flying overhead.
I think just like the neatness of everything has kind of come undone. We had all the kind of like how we saw all the identical families and all the identical houses and so on, and now they're just sort of like kind of just different and individualized. And maybe the fields were all the same color for the exact same type of plant or whatever, and now they're like it's like a patchwork.
Yeah,
Of
that like
different things.
farmland patchwork of different colors and crops. I like that.
And they have texture now too, like it's like not every leaf of the cotton plants in the field are the same color. They're not all the same height. The different families are like, first off, they're not standing there waving, they're like doing stuff, but there are different configurations of family. It's not 2 adults, 2 children. There's probably 1 or 2 that are 2 adults, 2 children, but like it's different groups of people, and different, like they look different, and if we hear them, they're speaking in very different voices, maybe even different languages.
Yeah, and I think we probably fly over like a pretty big hill that has like a good vantage point over kind of all this farmland and all this whole area. And there's somebody up on top of the hill painting a huge painting of this whole view. And it's this like master painter, and he's got a few assistants there as he's teaching them all, he's teaching them all to capture the beauty of the moment.
Nice, yeah, and we get this like camera swirl through this class as he's painting this like beautiful sort of photorealistic of the skyline and the rock flying across it, and then we get all the like interpretations from the student of this rock as it's passing through the view. Cool. You keep flying, you leave the forest and the lowlands behind. You start to get into foothills, and eventually the mountain is rising up, looming in front of you. It's just 1 second. It's easy to see the temple shining with its flame up at the top, and there, hanging in midair, time seems to come to a standstill. This flapping of this rock's wings slow. And Dane, I believe you want to talk to someone?
Yeah, I want to talk to Mr. End.
You hold your die, you focus on Mr. End, and here in the stillness you hear that wind, that gentle breeze blow across the back of your neck. And as you sort of look behind and look back forward, you see a man, very small, like maybe 5 feet tall, but he's dressed in like this incredibly nice fancy suit. It's got tails. He has a very tall top hat and a cane sort of that he's leaning his hands on. He says, "Yes."
Mr. End, I need to know something, and no riddles this time. I just have to know what is happening to us back in the real world. Like, where are we? Are we drugged up? Are we asleep? How long have we been here?
Well, you've been here for almost 2 days now, I think.
Here and there?
Here and where?
You know everything. How can you not know this?
I'm just trying to figure out where else you think your body might be. You're here.
On Earth, in the United States of America.
Your body is on die. Your mind is on die. Your soul is on die. What
How
other
can that-
parts of you are there?
How can that be possible?
Magic, my boy. As time resumes and the rock's flapping, do you say anything to your companions?
No.
So this temple, it's laid out in front of you. It's all gleaming bronze and sort of flame motifs. It was already a temple to the red god. And when I say that the top is crowned with a red flame, it is like brilliant crimson red. There's none of the oranges and yellows and whites and blues you'd expect from a normal fire. You land on the rock, and there doesn't seem to be anyone about in the temple. It's very open-sided. You come up to it, and you see the central sanctuary in the middle of it. There's a huge brazier that's also burning with that red light in the middle, and you see some movement. You hear some almost groaning sounds as you come forward. And you see in a circle around this brazier in various alcoves are chained up, locked in place, these techno zombies that you've seen before. They're straining against their bonds, but as they sit there, you see almost like the visuals from the movie The Dark Crystal. You see this like energy being drawn out of them and streaming in waves towards that brazier in the middle of the shrine. What do you do?
Close to these tied up zombies, are we? Like this thing where we're at the edge of the room or something, and they're like way inside, or what is that? How is the?
Yeah, you're sort of at the edges of the temple building itself, and they're like maybe 50 yards ahead in this like circle in the center of the whole building.
Cool. Yeah. So I just pop an arrow out, knock, and like, again, the like snack, wing, and just send one right through the skull of one of those zombies just to see what happens.
Yeah, it gives a like pained call as its head snaps back, and then the light that was being drawn out of it flares as the body of this fallen like disintegrates and turns to dust. And you hear a distressed cry of someone saying, "No, no! What have you done?"
Oh, I'm gonna start shooting more of them then.
As Dane's cleric comes striding into view in the middle of the shrine. What's his name?
His name is Saint Ignace.
Lovely.
He was sort of rolled up at the height of Dane's like prison Christianity dalliance. And so he doesn't like his god isn't Jesus or anything like that, but it's one of those things where it's like he worships like the one God. Yeah.
Yeah, and El Acierto, I think, as you like snap off another shot, lands in the wood next to him. He turns around and sort of distractedly like waves his hand at the flame, which grows bigger in the center there as he's inspecting this alcove where this fallen was. Calls out, "Why would you do that?"
And I'm knocking another arrow as I say, and I say, I know a battery when I see one. We're gonna power you down, and then pull back, and then whoop, other side, shoot a zombie like over on the other side.
This time, as soon as the arrow crosses the line of that center shrine, it just catches fire and burns away to ash before it hits the fallen. He says,
Okay, good to know, I say.
"It's not a battery, you fools. It's an experiment."
Oh, that's way less creepy.
Do you even know what these things are?
Zombies?
No, any idiotic necromancer could call up a zombie. These require much more specialized components. Come, look, I can show you.
I kind of look at everyone else like, are we buying this?
No, look, you guys know the deal. Like, we come here, we kill the old character, we move on, and I go ahead and throw
I-
some fair gold in myself.
Let's see what he has to say. We can always fight him afterwards.
Yeah, I'm taking the gold anyway. So I'm powering up my teleporter and my gun.
Question. Can I feel fear again, or what was that, like the wizards thing, or was that just in general?
I am very sorry. I had meant to throw something in about that. As you were traveling, just to make this firelit altar more dramatic, as you were flying, night did fall again. In that very unsettling, you hear the roll of the world die, and this line of night just over the sky. You see the grid light patterns of stars above you, and you hear almost like an echo on the wind. None shall fear while the sun still shines. And all at once, in the middle of this ride, very far above the ground, all of that adrenaline and fear comes rushing back into you.
Yep. I think whoever's in front of me is very surprised when I suddenly like grab onto them for dear life.
Yeah, it's probably me. Yeah. Dude,
Sorry, man.
what the-
Sorry. Sorry. It's a long way down.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, just hang on. Oh shit, you're afraid again.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool,
It's a
use
great place
that.
for that to happen.
Sweet. And I like kind of bank the rock a little to the side. So I'm gonna like spend that and so like that I'm doing a little slightly scary stuff. As that
You want to try and push her up to a little higher fear?
yeah, if I can. I mean if we can if we can flash back to that, that's I'm happy to do that.
He knows a battery
Yeah.
when he sees one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're at level 2, so I think terror of plummeting from the sky is viable
Fair.
if you want to take it.
How long does it take us to get here after that happens? Like, is this close to the end of the?
Night falls. It's not. Yeah, you're like flying over the sort of base of the mountain, the foothills at that point.
Okay, I'm still scared. I was just thinking I would probably get used to it if it took a long time, but no, in that case I'm still scared.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure you don't.
And so as your group moves forward into this complex to go talk to this cleric, you hear as you're passing one of these giant pillars that clanking rattling of the cell doors being drawn back in the world. As the warden steps out again, says, "Yes, I see you've seen the dangers of losing yourself to sensuality and beauty. You've seen the dangers of killing the spark in the human soul. I believe you are learning your lessons well. But be careful, for no god may speak in the presence of the Red God." And it comes out in that squeaking intercom sort of sound again. And unless anybody stops him, he's going to step back.
Well, I'm just gonna experimentally just wing an arrow at him just to see what happens.
He catches it as it comes in.
Oh, that's cool.
Says, "I know you like to push buttons, Javier, but please try to pay attention to these lessons." and he steps back. There's the sound of the cell bars to the world closing, and a thick metallic clank as another one of those like 4-inch diameter metal coins falls out of the air just at the foot of that pillar.
What did that do last time? Sorry, as a player, I'm not right.
Y'all sort of passed by it last time.
Oh yeah, we kind of left it, just sort of left it there, didn't we? Yeah, okay. Well, I'll walk over and pick it up.
Tell me one of your favorite memories of a time with Barrett.
Oh, uh, almost certainly, uh, it was like we had played like 3 or 4 times and I still was not getting it. Like how the numbers on the sheet made sense for like what we're doing. Like I started as one of those, like tell us what you want to do. I don't know. I want to shoot an arrow at him, I guess. Okay, roll this die. Okay, all right. I roll that and this. And so like halfway through the 4th time we played, like something just clicked. And like, oh, I get it. Like his armor class is the number that I got to roll, and and I add the bonus, and that and it just it suddenly made sense. And he looked so happy that I got it, that it was just this, the rest of that session was just fantastic.
And
because I got it.
Yeah, that memory, it spools through your mind, and that moment of you're so excited, and Barrett, he sees that you get it, and he's excited, and he opens his mouth to congratulate you on the roll, and what comes out instead is the booming voice of the warden as he says, "Beware the revelations of false prophets."
And I just kind of look confused at it, and then just do one of these just tink, just toss it back on the ground, shrug, go back and join the others.
So anything else before y'all get into the center shrine?
I mean, Javier picked it up and it didn't hurt him, so I'm gonna pick that coin up.
Same question. What's your favorite memory of Barrett?
I think it was so he was really good at playing NPCs. Not villains. Villains are terrible, but just people that we'd run into. Especially if they weren't if they were a little different from characters that you'd run into in a video game, if they weren't related to your quest at all, just people you'd run into. He played those really well. And he at the end of one quest, we came back to Shadowport and ran into some people that we had run into before, who had not, they hadn't given us a quest. They were just NPCs, and he made the point to make them have changed in the interim, and you could tell he had planned out what was going to happen to these people, and just that attention to detail, and it's oh, you really care about this this experience, I don't know, it stuck with me.
Nice. And again, at the end of that conversation, his mouth opens to give the reply that you're expecting, and instead you hear You hear, it's still just Barrett's voice, but you hear the sound of a car engine tires going over a road, and you hear him. You remember this from driving through the prison and towards his office there, him saying, I chose the four of you because I knew that you all understood the importance of my work. Then you flash back to yourself.
Yeah, I put the coin in my pocket. Run and catch up with the others.
Thanks. As you're approaching Dane, I think you just sort of like absentmindedly, you like feel the side of your die, sort of like checking your, okay, I'm ready to go into some shit, and you don't hear anything. You sort of touch it and expect that slowdown, and you don't get anything.
So I can't cast spells at all, or I can't talk to the gods.
You can't talk to the gods.
Okay.
Or at least they can't talk back to you.
Fair enough.
And Tempest, what do we see as you're approaching the inner sanctum here?
Yeah, I think I'm slamming down some gold to power up basically everything.
I think Daniel catches sight of that. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, I've got gun powered up, energy blade, teleporter. I think I shove one coin down and then just kind of like stretch out like, okay, yeah, I got it, and like do another one, and I'm feeling it.
Nice. So you step into the light in the center of the shrine, and he says, "Yes, welcome. I I serve here the gods. The red god, he brings life into this world. He takes where needed, but that is not the purpose. He is the conqueror of death, and these dead things, he helps me heal the world of them and bring their energy into a new form. Come, look, here." And he leads you over to an alcove. You see a fallen tied up in it, and you sort of get an opportunity to look closer at it. You hadn't really looked at it before. It's got its claws on the ends of its hands that it's trying to like reach and get out. But you see one of its arms has this like metal blade embedded into it and coming out the end. And as St. Ignace, he reaches his finger forward and points. Look, here. As he points at the forehead of the Forsaken. You lean in and look, and there's like a wound or something there. As you see a shape embedded in his forehead. You see a D10. Do you see?
I mean, that's my dice.
That's the Neo's die.
It is. I want to reach out and try to grab it. I want 2 dice.
You reach out and you grab it. See, where were we? Yes. And you see, as you grab it, you see a memory. You see a different time, a different place, someone else's life. You see a corporate office, and you look around to see your old office, Magnus's old office at the tech firm. You sort of look frantically around, and you see in like a powered off monitor, you see the face you're wearing is tell me the name of the tech bro that was like the first one that got caught in the dominoes that led to you being taken down.
Hunter.
Hunter. You see Hunter's face in the screen. You sort of reach up confusedly to touch it as reality comes back to you, and you see under the warping, the rot, and the decay, you see Hunter's face in front of you in this fallen.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and slice him up. I want nothing to do with that.
No, no, no! You don't understand. You hate them, they hate you. It's an energy flowing back and forth. But don't you understand? Don't you see what's happening here?
Well, I mean, not really. Look, it's a bad guy. We kill the bad guys.
Enlighten us, priest.
It is a hero. Heroes, they do not come from this world. They do not come from Dai. I've been researching them for a long time, trying to find the origin of the heroes. But what I found instead was the origin of the fallen. You, heroes, standing in front of me. That is where the fallen come from. And the warden, in his infinite kindness, when he's done with these, when they've filled their purpose and are no longer usable, he hands them off to me to research. But never have I had the chance to investigate a living hero's die.
You're saying he's done this before.
Oh, did I freeze?
No, you're good.
Okay. Oh, yes. The warden, he said it wasn't ready. He said that he was preparing, experimenting, perfecting the process.
And is it perfect now?
He smiles, and in this like proud, beatific way, he opens the front of his robe. He says, very nearly. And you see embedded in his flesh, forming a circle in his chest, you see 5 dice, a D4, a D6, a D8, a D10, and a D12. And just under his collarbone on his sternum, you see a hole waiting to be filled. It says, I am so close to becoming whole.
I'm afraid none of us have a D20.
No, but you are the warden's chosen. You are the warden's favorites. So, all I have to do is threaten you, maybe kill a few, and he'll show his face. And you hear a groaning around you. You hear a shuffling, and coming into the firelight, you see rank upon rank of fallen, endless numbers of them coming in towards you here in the center.
Are they scared?
No,
No. Okay.
but in addition to the potential of your companions feeling fear, Saint Ignace is not nearly as calm and pious and sure as he seems.
Good to know. Cool. Because yeah, I have a feeling I'm gonna be using some fear in the near future.
Let's, and I won't make you do this again, but let's try an initiative roll just to see who gets the drop on who here. So everybody just roll a straight dex roll.
We're just looking for a number of successes?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I've got 1 success.
2.
Let's see. The zombies get 1. St. Ignace gets 1. Everybody else? Did I hear everyone? 2. Sam? 2. All right. So basically everybody gets to go before them because players win ties on initiative. So was there 3 or was 2 the highest? Then 2s. Decide amongst yourselves and tell me what you're doing.
It's you and me, Dane, right?
I got a 2. I think
You-
3 of us got a 2.
Okay, cool. Like, I look at Dane and I'm like, what's our play here, blockhead?
I turn to him and I say, even if you could take Barrett's D20, you would still just be who you are. What we have comes from somewhere else, and it will never be yours. And I'm using the level 3 Fate Miracle, where you reveal an awful truth to someone, and it counts as an attack.
Oh, that is interesting. Okay. That is a miracle of a god you don't have to talk to, but it's
Yep.
not a miracle you have. And
Yep.
at level 3, it's going to be a difficulty 4 to pull off.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna take some debt for this one, but let's see how it goes. That would be 2 successes, so I have to take 2 debt to accomplish this.
Yep.
So I'll fill that in, and then I guess I make so it's not. Then I assume I now have to make an attack separately, or like how does this work?
Their fate, you reveal an awful truth. It counts as an attack, automatically stuns them for a round, and has special. So did you get any 6s?
I did not.
Okay. So you don't get the special, but you bought your way up to 4 hits.
Yep.
Which is going against him.
That was an unfortunate time not to roll any 6s, but
he.
Oh shit! I have a lot of debt to the fake god right now.
Hey, what?
I have a lot of debt to the fake god right now. I forgot I already had one.
Yeah. So let's see. He has a defense of 2. You got 4 successes. So that's 1, 2, 3. Which you see your words. You see an energy flow into them and like shoot across the air towards him. And as they come resonating in on him, you see this like spectral form of armor up around him. But your words, they just shred it away, and he's knocked back on his feet, not hurt, but gasping and looking at you in shock. Other 2s.
I'm gonna stab him.
Sometimes the old ways are best.
It's true. It's true. Your sword, you hear its voice in your mind. It's so happy to be unsheathed. Are you doing anything special?
Okay, so I get a defensive bonus because I am scared.
Mhm.
And let me see, there's another thing here. And I can remove 2 guard instead of 1. And
Nice.
I'm just stabbing him, so combat frenzy doesn't help.
But I mean, there can totally be a whole swath of zombies in your reach if you want to hit a bunch of them too. Fallen, not zombies.
I mean, if in addition to them, or in addition to him, there are, but I'm mostly concerned about him.
I am willing to tempt you to lose some of your emotion if you want.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
you do have to step
Sure.
down your D8 to activate that.
Yeah. Oh, actually, never mind. I'm already stepping it down to activate my defensive bonus, so it should be a 2, not a 3.
No, the lesser ability is always activated when you're above 0.
Cool.
It's the greater one that you have to step down for.
Yeah, in that case, I can deal with a level 2 fear. That's fine. Yeah, okay.
All right, yeah. So it's a strength attack. You're getting to add your D8 because this is a thing. You have any advantage or anything? No, I think it's just that maybe.
No, if I hit him, I get, there's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2 successes.
Nice.
I get double the guard, or I take off double his guard if I get through his defenses.
Yes. Okay, cool. That's specials on that. Did you get any 6s?
No.
Oh, okay. But you will apply that to him and everyone around him. That eats through. You're now going at his actual guard instead of the spell. That eats away his guard, or one of his guard, because his defense is 2. Yes, there rules. And you just mow through any of the zombies. They all have guard 1 and 1 hit point.
Cool.
So there's a whole like half dozen or more zombies that you take out in the swing. And is this we'd seen sort of like a sped up version of Astrid before. Is that what this looks like again?
Yeah. I think this is like just get in, like swing at everything and in arm's reach. Like I'm mainly going for him, but hey, and then like get away really quick. It's dart in, stab, swing, dart out.
Nice. And our final 2.
Yeah, so like Astrid kind of darted in and did that swing, and like as he is spinning out of there, like it's that thing where like as soon as they're out of the way, I've got the bow knocked, and like I kind of do one of these, like squint and let a single arrow go, and I'm shooting it right at that D6 that is lodged in his chest.
Interesting. Okay.
I want that back. I don't want to be messing around with that. So is this just straight up like roll 4 for Dex?
Yeah.
One hit.
That as he.
Oh, it's a 6, but I need my full die to activate my special. So
Yep.
yes. Okay, so single hit. Yep.
You got to put yourself into some
Yes.
hotter water for that one. But yeah, so you fire, but he turns just as you're firing, and it off of the sort of hardened leather part of his robe there.
Yep.
And then finally around to Tempest.
Yeah, so I think Tempest, having seen everybody else go, for one, like I said all along, we just need to kill the bad guy and get on with it. So I think Tempest wants to, I would like to overcharge my teleport to basically do like a big teleporting strike. Like I want to teleport behind him and basically just come right down on him and hit him with the sword.
Nice. And did you say you wanted to overcharge?
Yeah, I mean, if you think that makes sense, I'm just thinking like you might have to do a little bit more to be able to teleport and attack, kind of all in the same round.
No, you can use it like movement, but again, if you want to like take out a group of these fallen as well, you could overcharge your teleport to actually be in several places at once if you wanted.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. That I'm just kind of pinging around, hitting hitting some of the one fallen here, one fallen there, and then finally like end with the final strike. Yeah. Rematerialize and have the sword in him.
Nice. Okay, so let's see. I'll let you overcharge, and you can hit we'll say 10 of the zombies and him with 1 point of fair gold, and double that for every extra point of fair gold you spend.
How many of the fallen are there?
Hundreds.
Okay. I'll go and just spend the 1 and just assume that I Tempest am so powerful that it'll only take 1.
Then roll me your d10 first by itself.
And that is a 4.
Evens, it works without a problem. So yeah, roll me an attack roll. You get to add in your d10.
Okay.
And he's I think your friends are up there and have him engaged, and he's not expecting you to start teleporting around, so I'll give you an advantage die too.
Okay. So I'll go and roll that. And that is 4 successes.
Nice. And is this blade or gun that you're attacking him with?
This is blade, and I didn't get any 6s.
Cool. But that is 4 successes. That 2 gets over his guard. And then 2, 3. So you eat through his guard, and you deal a very serious wound to him. I think you do end up like stabbing it straight through his chest. That sort of like one of his lungs is probably about to collapse thing.
Oh, so he looks bloodied.
Oh yeah, he looks 1 hit point away from death. But it is now time for them to go. So I think first we're gonna have zombies.
Is our guard back up to full?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a fresh battle, a fresh scenario, full guard. So remind me, who is standing around him now? The priest. Are you all right up on him, or no? You sort of shot at him, Javier.
I like ducked in and ducked out, but I don't know if I'm like I could still be close-ish to him. I'm out of arm's reach. But I don't know how far I would have gotten away.
Yeah, but it's more to find out like who's in that sort of like hole of zombies at the moment, which I think is everybody except Javier. So I think the 3 of you there, by the 3 of you I mean everybody except Javier, is going to open the wrong tab. No, wait, that's just me. So you've just got a small group on you, so it's going to be, we'll say like 3 attack each of you. I'm just going to roll this once. So 2 advantages there. Okay. Dang it. I'm bad at learning to clear dice first. Actually, let me just grab 3 of these. Take them. Let me screw up everything while I just keep babbling at you and never do this action. Okay, you guys. And you. Re-roll, you stupid. Okay, I'm failing at everything. They got 2 successes. What's y'all's defenses, everybody except Javier?
2.
My defense is 1, but also with my teleporter active, they are supposed to add 1 disadvantage to any attempt to hit me.
Yeah, let me roll a bad die for that. It did not take off, so still 2.
Okay, so they 1 gets through to my guard.
Yeah, so it hit the Tempest. It hits your defense 1, and then there's an extra 1, so 2 off your guard. Astrid had defense 2.
Yeah, because I didn't fire the energy shield.
So just 1 off your guard and none for Dane. But for Javier, let me Actually, instead of dice, look over here. Javier, if you would like your die back, I can think of a situation right now.
Oh, I think the thing where I'm not paying attention and I step backwards into the arms of those chained zombies is a.
Yes. I think there's a
or
chain.
something similar. Yeah.
Yeah. You step back and you're like, oh, I've got this. I'm mobile. I'm good. And just the claws of this chained Forsaken behind you hook into your shoulders as this whole swarm of zombies covers you over bodily. The rest of you lose sight of your friend the fool there, and go ahead and knock your guard down to 0. Take 2 off your health and take your die back.
I will do all of those things.
As these things are scrambling, tearing, trying to get at the die embedded in you. But it flares back to life.
They're a
And
mob, right?
oh yeah.
Okay.
They're see, mob, army. They're not an army. They're close, but they're not an army. So yeah, I think they're a mob. And him, Saint Ignace. Yeah. Okay. He is going to begin chanting in his divine language, and you see the fire in the brazier grow brighter and start to expand. Let's see how that goes. Dicey roly thingy things. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brazier, and he's hurt, so he's gonna get disadvantage die. Wait, he's down to 1. He's very hurt. He gets a higher difficulty. So reroll. He just got 3 successes. So this thing explodes in a 3-hit fireball. Apply that to your defenses as normal, but he doesn't get any specials, so none of you are catching fire. And yes, it is back around to our heroes. All of you go before then, so any of you can go. I don't care who.
Okay. This probably won't kill me.
I love that.
Yeah, creative violence. I'm gonna burn those the 2 fear I have, since they're a mob, not an army. And I'm gonna let these zombies swarming over Javier. I'm just gonna do the turn into a whirlwind of blades and chop them up thing.
Nice. So yeah, you go spinning around. You feel the fear draining out of you and turning into power, and you hear the exultation of your blade as it just says, "Yes, more, more, more!" And you will mow your way through all of these Forsaken or Fallen. Damn it, wrong system. As your sword flashes back and forth brightly, and as they howl and groan. And are you going for killing them? I should check with you.
I don't care. I think I'm more concerned about they're my friend is now out of sight under this pile of them. I just want them out of off of him and stopped.
Nice.
So I'm not taking time to stab each of them through the heart or anything like that. I'm just I'll probably kill some of them.
Well, this is creative violence. Yeah, you're getting rid of all of them. It does that, you leave that slash on each of them, and you follow the sword's chant As you slash across the last one, all of these wounds glow brightly, and the fallen explode into ash and light as you hear this like hail-like rattle as hundreds and hundreds of cracked, dull dice fall out of midair and land on the marble temple floor. St. Ignace is there in the middle, and he's just howling in despair and falling to his knees, saying, "No, all of my works, all of my dedication, ruined, ruined!"
And I say, not all of it. And I just put a throwing knife in his eye.
I don't need a roll for that one. It's more an exclamation point than an attack.
Oh, okay. Let me see if that killed me.
Yeah, roll us a d8.
It did not.
So yeah, what do y'all do here? What do y'all say?
That was hot. Is that weird? I say to Astrid.
A little bit? Maybe. No. Nah, it's not weird.
And I'm climbing up, and I walk over to Dane, and I'm like, they fucked me up good. Can you fix me? Oh wait, sorry. You probably gotta do a thing. And then I kind of do this, and I sort of step back and let Dane do whatever he's gonna do, like with his old character.
He's dead now? Or is he still around?
Sorry, mute. Yes, he is dead now.
Just to step out for a second.
Yeah.
Would it be cooler if he can gasp out a few words to you, Sam, before he passes on? Or
I'm fine with him being dead.
Okay, cool. All right. I just wanted to just check in and make sure. Because if my thing messed up your wanting to talk to him, then I would.
I don't think I have anything more to say to him. I do have stuff to say to you guys, though, which is that we may need to address the possibility that Barrett's intentions for us are not good.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Blockhead, Dane, you feel that breeze again, and you hear the sort of laughter of Mr. End and an echo of, "Why, it's magic, of course." And your eyes drawn back to St. Ignace, and Mr. End, he's standing right in front of you. He's standing over Ignace's body, and he says, "Take the dice, and we're even."
Is that all? Why would you
Yes.
want that?
Why do you care? I thought you would be happy, free and clear of all debt to me, a clean slate, simply for picking up 5 little dice.
I suppose it's fate. I'll take the dice.
It's a gruesome moment we'll pass over. So yeah, what is your plan? Do you have anything else to do here?
I will indeed heal El Cierto.
Yeah, give me a roll on that. You just need 1 success.
It looks like it hurts, El Cierto.
Yeah, oh shit, am I gonna turn into a zombie?
It feels real, doesn't it?
No, I don't care that it hurts. I just don't want to turn into a zombie.
Well, there isn't any danger of that. Not right now.
Oh, okay.
That's 4 successes.
Cool.
Whew. Yeah, go ahead and heal 1. Javier? And are y'all taking the rock to your final destination?
If we could take a bio break right now,
We
that'd be
definitely
great.
will.
Yeah.
Just trying to.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I don't know why not.
Yeah. Also, is there any fair gold?
I was about to ask. Yeah.
I think all of these fallen that were in the army, in the sort of like mobbing horde, you don't see a glow from any of them. They had all been drained and used up. But these like 5 that you didn't kill in the alcoves that are tied up, you see the glow around them. So you can make me, I think, just a d6 roll.
That's a 2. So I'll go and take that, and I'm at 3.
All right. So let's take like a 5-minute break here, and then we'll come back and smash cut to the Crystal Castle. All right. So we're going to sort of fast forward to the end game here. So first of all, does anybody pick up the red flame amulet? There's a red flame amulet.
No.
Okay. You pile back on your rock. You fly away from this temple, which has gone dark. Over the other side of the mountain, and you see the glittering crystal palace, for the crystal fortress out in front of you. You see, well, you don't see like an obvious green flame or anything, or at least you don't at first until a series of flaming green arrows come flying up towards you. They hit the rock in the wing, and you go for a very thrilling dive bomb towards the ground into a sort of like tumbling crash landing. And you see shaggy and feral and glowing with green fire. You see Thorn there in front of you, his bow drawn and ready to attack you. As behind him comes walking up the queen in her gravity-defying, temperature-defying, strangely void and form-fitting outfit and look. A pinup come creepily to life as she puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "No, no, my pet. These are our guests." And he lowers his bow and sort of like leans into her touch. And you hear the clanking, the grinding of the cell doors of the world opening again as she rolls her eyes and says, "Oh, not this again." Waves a hand, and this like crystal dome covers the entire fortress, and you see the form of the warden step out on the other side of the crystal dome from you, begin banging on the side of it. It reverberates, but he can't seem to break his way through. You can barely hear him yelling warnings and imprecations against this recidivist NPC. And she says, "Now, welcome to the Crystal Keep. Magnus, Javier, Daniel, Dane, I imagine you've had a hard road here." You are muted, Jim.
Why is she calling us by our regular names and not our character names?
I'm right here. You can't ask me questions, you know.
And I like hold up a finger like to shush her, like the adults are talking now.
I mean, that's a good question.
Because Barrett created her before we created our characters.
No, it's because I'm better written than all the other trash that you've run across so far. Look, I realize the situation we're in. You're players. I'm, well, shudder to say NPC. It's rather drab and horrible, isn't it? But I have my own reality. I have my own place in my world. I'm comfortable with that.
Finally, someone willing to make a deal.
Yes. A deal? I sense that you're not too fond of going through with the warden's plans.
I don't think we even know exactly what the warden's plans are.
Has he not made his pitch?
I mean, we're supposed to be helping him with this program.
Yes. Yes. You are. You are, as we speak, fulfilling the very bargain he struck with the demon of Dai.
What is the demon of Dai?
This planet, this world, this plane, this realm. Dai. It comes off of the power of one far, far greater than the master that you serve. A grand master over the entire world. Anyways, your warden, your Barrett, he made some deal with this grand master. He wants power, he wants influence, he wants resources. He wants to be able to make changes to your world, your prisons, your justice.
Like the real world.
I think that's a rather hurtful term, but like your world, certainly.
How does what happens here let him do stuff there?
It's a price paid. It's a cost for a reward. 4 new souls to run around in his world for all of eternity. And in exchange for just those 4 souls, he can make all of the changes he wants in your world. And really, at least in his mind, what's the harm in it? A prison, yes, but a whole world of a prison. I've got a better deal. And she reaches her hand out. She sort of like walks her fingers up Javier's arm until she can sort of play with his hair. Say, I know where to find the GM of this world. If all you have to do is help me kill the warden, take his die, take his plane, and I shall rule eternal, the crystal plane of everything that I can see. And you can each make your own deal. You can each have your own world, not the warden's boring morality play of a set piece to wander around in, but your own fantasies, everything you want, everything you ever will want.
What if I want to go home?
That you cannot do. You and the warden, you came as a set. You came as a piece. And all stay or all go. Good luck convincing the warden to go.
What if we kill the warden? Are we still a set?
She looks, for the first time, you see the demeanor crack, and she looks really annoyed that you asked that question. She says, dead players don't get a vote.
Hold on. Dead players.
Yes.
Not dead player characters.
Dead players. The world always needs a new supply of fallen. I'm sure any of you, I'm sure Barrett himself would make a prime example of the species.
Do we really want a fallen version of the Warden?
Well, I mean, if we kill the warden, we go home. We don't have to deal with fallen anything. Who cares about the fallen if we're going home?
Well, I mean, if what happened here didn't affect what happens at home, like the whole Barrett wouldn't have done it in the first place. So if what we do here does echo over to, I don't want I don't know, whatever the warden fallen version it'd be in our world.
There's a great smash and clattering of broken crystal falling to the ground. Gasp from the queen. As behind you, the warden breaks through the field, the dome. Just, do not listen to this liar. Do not listen to any of her temptations. You understand. You have seen the dangers that face people in the system. You have seen the perils that you all narrowly avoided in the real world and here. Imagine the power to actually make a change, to move things in our world.
What does that look like?
What does that look like? That looks like, he says, I've talked to you over and over again. I've told you the problems with the justice system. You know what I would do. I would go in, I would reform it, I would change it. I would make it a system of reconciliation, of reformation, not just throwing away the trash of society.
And how does that work? Like, is it instantaneous? Like the world can be however you want it to?
No, that's just fantasy. That's just here. I will have the power to change things, but only going forward. And change is slow, even with magic. I fear none of you would live, or at least be far past your prime, before society would move past this point of blame, before society would accept you back with open arms for having served your time. But here you can have your dreams. Here is a world for you.
What happened to all the zombies?
What?
The zombies.
The fallen, they're gone now. They're of no concern.
Yeah, that's all I needed to know. And I kind of look at Javier and I'm like, I say we both get out of the way. We all get out of the way and let them kill each other.
But they're...
But so just for a moment, just for a player, as a
Yeah,
player,
yeah.
to make sure I understand, you're talking about the warden and the queen when you say that. You're kind of like
Yep,
indicate
yep,
like the two of them.
Yep.
And like I kind of and I shrug and look at you and say, I am kind of curious how it'll come out.
Don't be fools. This is a way to change the world. Who's ever offered you that chance before? Just stay. Just be content.
Barrett, I love gaming, but I can't play role-playing games all the time for the rest of my life. I have another life. It's not the best, but it's got things that are important in it.
As you say that, you feel like a trembling, a rumbling under your feet. You feel an earthquake start and rip through the land, and the crystal dome begins like shattering and breaking and raining around you. As the warden looks around and says, "No, no, you don't mean that. There's still time for you to not mean that."
I mean, no, I think he means it because I agree. I mean, we just get burned out. Like, that's too much.
Our lives would be really short here anyway.
No, the I could write better adventures. I can make things. I can keep you entertained.
Don't get me wrong. I want to be entertained. I want to, but I have to pick my kids up on Friday.
Uh, the mountain that had the temple of the red god at the top of it explodes in a fiery crack, and you see lava coming out of it. No, this is not how it was meant to go. Just have to agree. Just agree to stay, and all of this can stop.
And I sigh and I go, fuck. All right, but before we go, and I like, and put an arrow through the throat of my old character.
There's a look of shock and betrayal as he falls back dead.
And like I throw the bow down and I say, okay, now we can go. Like I was not going to be denied the chance, like that chance to kill my old character. Like that's the whole point of this adventure. And now, yeah. And now I'm like, okay, yeah, we gotta go.
And the warden is there. He says, "No, I don't agree. We'll all disappear together before I let this dream die."
So if we all disappear together, then you not only have you not changed anything, you've murdered all of us.
And all of you will be dead. Do you care so little for your own life?
I think you I don't think you're going to be responsible for killing us and getting nothing.
What kind of reform is it? Just throwing us in a bigger jail. Come on, this is the opposite of what you want to do.
I mean, like, also, while we've been talking to you, she's gotten behind you. And, like, I nod to the queen to do whatever it is she's going to do him in.
So I'm sort of curious how the table sees this going, because it's going to take at least one of you helping her for the queen to take out the warden, because she would have done it herself otherwise. You can.
Oh, yeah, I've got a smoke bomb. Yeah, so I can be like, oh, and there's one thing that you and one other thing, and then I like throw the smoke bomb at his feet, so that she can get in and do whatever it is she can do in the dark when he can't see her.
So yeah, the smoke goes up. He cuts off in the middle of his protests and begins coughing, which is then suppressed, and so you hear sort of a muffled sound. And as the smoke begins to clear, you see the queen. She's standing in front of him. Her claws have like ripped open his helmet, and she's grabbed his face and is kissing him. There's a light glowing on her lips and transferring into him. And as he sighs contentedly and in pleasure, she stabs her crystal dagger through his heart. And his sigh changes into a digital distorted cry as the color fades from him. The die cracks and he changes. What were you saying, Sam?
I'm opening up my hand. I want out of here, but I feel the need to give one last gift for the people of Dai. This queen is not going to be a good ruler. So I'm holding my hand out to I guess the Red Lady probably is the best candidate for this. I'm just like, you know you want to. Let's do this.
Yes, she will. But the queen is no small enemy.
We killed them for you. We killed them all. We killed the wizard. We killed the priest. We even killed the archer. He wasn't even doing anything.
Then fine.
Surely we've walked your path far enough.
You're at the end of your quest. You're on your way home. What do you mind if there's 3 more dead on your account?
Which 3 are we talking here?
Sorry, 3 more debt.
Oh, 3 more debt. Yeah, that's fine.
Not corpses.
That's fine.
So yeah, mark your debt with the Red Lady up to 5.
All right. No, it's not to 5. I cleared that debt.
Oh, it says 2 right now.
Yeah, but sorry, I didn't delete it. But it's now down to because remember I cleared it by murdering that guy at the end of the last session.
Gotcha. Then she'll say 5.
Really? Yikes. Okay. I think there is actually a pause as I consider.
This world disintegrates, soldier. There's not much time for you to make this choice.
Fine. What's the worst that can happen?
The bargain is struck, then. And you see as the time starts back up, you see that dagger slide into the warden's heart. But at the same time, you see his hand clenching around her throat, crushing off her air as she tries to scrabble at it and breathe. And the 2 of them die together. They're stuck in sort of I think as they die, they start to change. This crystal comes up from their feet, encasing the 2 of them in like this eternal moment of destruction. What do you do?
Okay, how do we get out?
Yeah, we go home now, right?
I want to go home.
There's a gonging in the world, and the earthquakes stop as soon as you say that.
Where's the portal thing?
Javier?
Yeah, I want to go home.
There's another loud ringing through the air.
Oh, I want to go home. I want to go home.
Yeah, I want to go home. Let's go.
And Magnus opens his mouth and he says, I want to go home. And there's this room as Dane, the world freezes one more time. And you hear this whisper in your ear. It says, take me with you, and all is forgiven. So, she's calling on your 5 debt.
What happens if I refuse debt?
If you refuse that debt, then you suffer 1 wound for every point of debt that you're refusing.
And what happens if I suffer 5 wounds?
To be blunt, the other 3 of them will show back up in your world with a corpse. but she will stay locked in this plane.
Yikes. Well, do I get a roll or a save or anything?
Nope, it's just a choice to take her deal or not.
Resistance roll? No.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't think I can do this for her. I'm afraid.
Wow. So yeah, this portal of light starts shining up around you. All of you, the characters start to dissolve and your personas reveal themselves. But yeah, Sam, tell us what happens to Dane here in the middle of the transport. Oh, you're muted, Sam.
I think it's like spontaneous combustion with that ghostly flame.
Nice. So yeah, you as you're in mid transport, changing from one world to the other, you see this flame burning around your friend, and as you reappear, the four of you in Barrett's office, in amongst the clutter and around the game table. You see Dane standing there for just a moment before his eyes roll back and he crumples to the ground. And I think that's where we're going to end. You made it?
Some of us.
Some of us, yeah.
So I am terrible with scheduling. I had hoped to end a little bit earlier and get into some like playtesty responses, but instead I think we'll just do a quick round of stars for your favorite highlights from things. Yeah.
Sorry, can I just add one little like end cut teaser thing at the end of this, which is just that like back on the Crystal Spire, you see like a fallen Dane as a fallen get up.
Nice. So yeah, we'll do a quick round of stars, and I'm totally open on Slack. We have that Slack channel, or private messages. If you have any responses about the system as a play test, if there were mechanical pain points or things you really liked, between this run and the last one I ran of it, I am planning to write up a report and send it into Kieran. So that would be helpful. But let's start at the bottom, work our way up. So Jim, stars.
Star for Rob's, just like every single time. Is there any smack around here? He doesn't have any. Is there anybody holding? It's just like literally the first question asked every time we got someplace new, and that was and just like just perfectly modulated and just like I like, it was one of those things where I got to be waiting for it whenever there was like what do you do? Sort of Fairgold? Okay, now I'll answer your question. That was just very nice.
Lovely. Robert?
Yeah, I think, well, there were a lot of good one-liners there, but I really liked Jim's one-liner about, the mistake you made was thinking that I was creative and using that to get out of the fantasy world. That was like on point. That was perfect for the character.
That was pretty amazing. Bethany?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Sam's decision at the end was pretty awesome, and it was like it could easily for that character have gone either way, and I had no idea which one you'd pick. I feel like there's a million. Jim, your descriptions that were somehow different every time and like of the awesome, arrow shots. I don't think I could ever come up with that many permutations of awesome arrow shots.
Lovely. And Sam?
I really like two night scenes at the inn. I thought those were really lovely. And thank you especially to Robert for playing this side of my existential crisis.
Yeah, those scenes were really nice.
As for Dane's motivation, like he like almost just like almost casually did something nice for Di as we were leaving, and it turned out to like wreck everything. And he just felt like he couldn't like. How could he start this whole thing by doing something nice for this world that he doesn't even live in, and then pay for it by like wrecking our world? It just seemed too unfair.
It was that moment. I will definitely give all the stars to you, Sam, for putting up with me dicking around with you there, but also for just like unexpectedly making the really heroic choice there at the end. Which was it's not like Dane was a horrible person by any stretch of the imagination. He was just, he bought less into the sort of reality of the world and was a bit more on the cavalier end of things. And it was really neat to see that at the end. And thank you, all of you, for being amazing embodiments of your characters. Thank you for the tone, which was comedic and dark in those sort of like tilting back and forth, I think, in a really lovely way. I had an amazing time. I'm going to stop the recording.